Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Wincity Fight Night. The future of combat sports starts here. This is Wincity Fight Night, unfinished business. Trudell and Banfic. We have 9 exciting boxing fights for you this evening, all sanctioned by Boxing Ontario, with our main event, Jayden "The Juice" Trudell stepping in the ring for his first fight in his hometown against Thomas Bam Bam Banfic, one of the most decorated fighters in Ontario. I'm Drake Moore, your voice of the Wincity Fight Night. And let's send it over to Kara Rowe, our ring announcer, who will also be joining me here in the commentary booth as a color commentator for our first fight of the evening. We got 9 exciting fights as mentioned, and we are ready to get started.
All the fights tonight you'll be able to see on the MTC Windsor YouTube channel. Tonight is a big night, the return of our national champ, Jayden Trudell. So it's a great night tonight. We're going to have so much fun, and we're ready to kick things off. We have 9 outstanding fights for you tonight. My name is Kara Rowe. I will be your MC for the evening. And we're going to get things started. This will be 3 2-minute rounds, and making his way to the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. Put your hands together for Will Davis!
William Davis makes his way to the ring from Detroit, Michigan, representing Henry Hank Boxing Club. This young man at 16 years old, 18 bouts already under his belt, weighing in today at 114 pounds. This guy is coming here, and he means business for his 19th amateur fight.
To the ring, fighting out of the red corner. Put your hands together for Noah Loco Sapoco.
Noah Sapoco, the Canadian boy representing St. Thomas, Ontario, from Championship City Boxing Club. 15 years old, weighed in today at 115 pounds, and he has 14 bouts under his belt as well. This is an exhibition. 3 2-minute rounds in the squared circle. Your ring announcer, Kara Rowe, will send it over to her in just a few moments, and she'll be joining me here at the commentary booth.
Fighting out of the blue corner, weighing 125 pounds, comes to us with 18 fights, 16 years old, representing Henry Hank Boxing Club and Detroit, Michigan. Put your hands together once again for Will Davis! And to my right, fighting out of the red corner, weighing 115 pounds with 14 fights and 15 years old, representing Championship City Boxing Club in St. Thomas, Ontario. Put your hands together once again for Noah Loco Sapoco. And we have a referee with fighter instructions. Fighters should be sent to the ring.
Okay, we are set for our first matchup of the evening, first bout of the evening. Again, 3 2-minute rounds here in the ring. Bell is rung, and we are underway. Every fight this evening is sanctioned by Boxing Ontario, and now our ring announcer, Kara Rowe, will be joining me here in a few moments. She'll be providing a little bit on color commentary as well. A very experienced boxer herself, and these 2 young men starting off very calmly, Kara. So obviously both of these 2 young men have quite a lot of fights under their belts already, and showing that here early in this one.
Yeah, it's nice to see. With the more experience, you're seeing a lot of different defense instead of just hands up. You're seeing a lot of head movement. And even the delivery of the punches, the combinations, you can tell the experience because you're seeing body head. I mean, newer fighters tend to headhunt a little bit, and you're seeing these guys set it up. As this is an exhibition, so they are wearing 16-ounce gloves. So, you know, kind of initially they're told don't try and kill each other. This isn't a fight on the books, but it'll start getting more intense as the rounds go on because it's a fight. You still can't help yourself.
Definitely. As you mentioned, this is a little bit different than some of the exhibitions we might see here as part of the Wincity Fight Night series. Sometimes, obviously, being their first bout, very eager to get in there, and these two young men have a lot of experience. So this is where the art is really on display. Again, the slow, methodical pace of it is more of like a chess game rather than just get to the end of the finish line, right?
This is the huge benefit, too, to being in Windsor and being in a border town because you get an opportunity to have the Americans come across. Because a lot of times, if you're more northern Ontario, you'll see most of the people from Ontario, but this is an opportunity where we get to cross-border play. 9 fights this evening, and this will be our first Canada versus USA. Again, Will Davis in the blue corner representing Detroit, Michigan. Henry Hank Boxing Club and Noah Sapoco in the red, St. Thomas, Ontario from Championship City Boxing Club. And you're going to see, typically when you see someone come from Detroit, you're going to have a little bit more of that, Detroit style bladed up. Absolutely. From Tony Harrison, a world champion's gym. So you see that slick jab, going long, coming back quick, setting everything up.
The styles are different in the ring and outside the ring between Canada and America and all countries. But today, one thing is in common, and that's the sport of boxing. Here to showcase their abilities, grow the sport, and of course, get more experience to get to that next level. That's what the Wincity Fight Night series is all about. And this is Wincity Fight Night Unfinished Business. We got a lot to get through this evening, and we're just getting started here, as mentioned. This is our first, so that's another reason, kind of going back to what you were saying, Kara. This is the beginning of the night. We're not looking for blood just yet, but who knows what the rest of the night happens.
Well, I'm guessing it's going to get a little more intense as the rounds go on. I mean, because even your teammates and your sparring partners, it stays light until someone gets cracked, and then it's on and popping. It's like game time.
It's a team sport, but it's a weird thing at times, as you know. I mean, Kara Rowe, congratulations on your many inductions recently into Boxing Hall of Fame's local Hall of Fame as well. So you definitely know what you're talking about, and this is what is added here to the Wincity Fight Night.
And you're already seeing the pace pick up. This is the second round between Sapoco in the red and Davis in the blue.
Right away. A lot faster.
Yeah, I think it's just that, you listen to the head official at first. This is an exhibition, and then after the first round, those cobwebs go out and you're ready. Yeah,
that's exactly it. You took the words right out of my mouth, and we got one more round after this, so this one's going to start flying by soon enough. Just like those punches there from Will Davis.
And that's the one thing, it's interesting, being able to move your jab around. Sometimes if you hit the headgear in the right angle and it tilts the head back like that, there are some refs that will go stop and give a standing 8 count. And even though it's not a damaging blow, it just kind of gives that appearance because the angle. And we're seeing out of the blue corner from Superbad doing really good, Henry Hank, we're seeing a really good job of, using that left hand, setting it up.
Yes.
Doesn't have to land, just distract the other fighter, and make them work around it. Red's got to bring his head movement back, though, because he did a really good job that first round with getting his head out of that center line.
It's always mentioned, but the fundamentals can go a long way, and just even that jab, using that jab can win you fights.
Oh, 100%.
Really do a lot of damage as well.
Yeah, especially when you go body head and you don't know where it's,
And this is where you'll see a lot of variety from these fighters this evening here at Wincity Fight Night. Unfinished business, I'm Drake Demore, joined by Kara Rowe.
I love to see these guys, they're boxing and they're infighting. So sometimes typically, maybe if you're from a certain club or you're a certain style of fight, you'll just box, maybe you'll just infight. And these guys are working the outside. Look at that, outside and inside. They'll sit in the pocket, they'll go outside and box, and their experience is really showing here.
And credit to their coaches for getting them the experience they even get here. Last 10 seconds of this second round. 3 2-minute rounds here in our opening contest, and there's a big right hand from Will Davis, followed up by Noah Sapoco there too.
Yeah.
Nice finish from both.
Red did a really good job of going to the body. He's got to finish upstairs, and I think that was the difference there is blue corner kind of went body head and finished upstairs. You got to take advantage of that because typically when you go to the body, you're dropping the guy's hands. You got to take advantage of that being a wide open shot.
Indeed, that sets us up for an interesting third and final round. 2 more minutes here in our opening contest. An exhibition following that. We're going to get into some official amateur bouts here, all sanctioned by Boxing Ontario, live from Windsor, Ontario. We're here at the beautiful Serbian Center. We host pretty much all of our Wincity Fight Nights, a great facility for such.
I'm ready for this third round because I think they're both coming in. They're going to be guns blazing, pick up the pace.
You predicted it, right? You can feel it getting a little bit more intense, a little bit more exciting, and I mean, that's what's to be expected here, and they are not disappointing anyone watching or in attendance. And again, we still got 8 more fights after this one.
Yeah, and you want to take, just because it's an exhibition, you still want to take advantage of the work, right? Of not knowing the person, it makes you a little bit more nervous. Yeah. So here we are with, out of the red corner, Noah, Sapoco, and out of the blue corner, look for the gloves, not the headgear. We have William Davis.
Right. Look at the speed too, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it's really picked up this third round. This is where you want to maximize the fact that you came all this way, get those 2 minutes in there. You really want to.
Especially in this third and final round, we're treating this like a championship fight. We're treating this like this is what we came for. This is all or nothing.
So here, the thing is, you got to make sure you're not waiting. You only have 2 minutes. You can't wait to counterpunch, and that happens sometimes. If you're going to wait, you've got to feint. You've got to make something happen if nobody's moving. You got to just use that jab as just to draw something out of your opponent.
This is where the chess game really comes into play. Again, the pace slowing down just a little bit there. Looking for an opening and just exchanging as both young men here.
That's what I mean, it's nice to see, too, because you're seeing that chess match. You're seeing those setups. It's not just like two guys rock 'em, sock 'em.
Yes. It's the strategies that, really obviously come into play at this moment in these fights, and that you've been planning on for days, weeks, or months, maybe practicing in the gym.
And this is where, Red's got to lead a little bit more, and he's got to keep going body head, finishing up, because he has some really great body shots.
Good space, and he's
waiting too much.
Breaking it down,
Red's waiting. He's got to go initiate. He does well when he initiates. But the jab of blue, right?
Really helping him keep that distance. But when Red can close it out, that's, again, like you said, Kara, that's what it's time to capitalize. And he misses on that uppercut there. Oh, my, what a jab.
But that's that waiting. You can't wait. You got to be first. You got to use a feint. You have to use a jab just so you don't get caught, like, flat-footed waiting for something to happen. If something's in motion, stays in motion. You have to keep your feet moving so you can react. If you can't react if you're flat-footed.
Just like everything in life, timing is everything, and this comes down to our last 10 seconds here.
I think either of them, when they both use combinations, they're successful.
They're going to be going back to the gym and practicing on that. Everything they learned here in those 3 rounds. This is an exhibition. We're going to raise both young men's hands in just a moment. But neither have anything to be ashamed of. That was a quite impressive showing from both Championship City Boxing Club and Henry Hanks. Super Bad Boxing Club, and now Noah Sapoco ready to shake hands with his opponent here. This is all part of the sportsmanship of the sport on display here. This is our first bout of Canada versus USA this evening here at Wincity Fight Night. As Kara Rowe had mentioned, just in a great spot here in Windsor, Ontario. Cross-border to bring in so many gyms from Michigan and all over Ontario here to Windsor for another showcase of boxing.
All right, both these fighters bringing you our first fight of the night and our first exhibition of the night. So we're going to give a round of applause to both fighters, Will Davis and Noah Sapoco. What a great way to start the evening. Dominion Collision, Chow Cafe, WHG Cabinets, Team Gorn Real Estate, Windsor Hot Tub and Sauna Store, Concord Construction, Penalty Box, Windsor, and Color Wars. Thank you guys so much for your participation in tonight's event and helping out these fighters build their careers. We're ready for the next fight of the evening. This will be 3 2-minute rounds. First up, making his way to the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. Put your hands together for Yvonne, the Korean Zombie! Yay!
The Korean Zombie, Yabon Yang, making his way to the ring right now, representing Cheriki Academy in Richmond, Ontario. This young man, only 15 years old, at 156 pounds this evening. 5 bouts under his belt already.
Put your hands together for Dawson Waltz-Raby!
And a somewhat local fighter in Dawson Waltz-Raby, representing Amherstburg, Ontario, from Fighting Island Boxing Club. 16 years old, weighing in as well. On the dot, 156 pounds, and he has 10 bouts underneath his belt. Slowly making his way to the ring here. He's calm as ever and ready to get into the ring here with Yabon Yang. Richmond, Ontario versus Amherstburg, Ontario. And look at the height on Dawson Waltz-Raby.
Here we go. To my left, fighting out of the blue corner, weighing 156 pounds, comes to us with 5 fights and 15 years old, representing Cheriki Academy and Richmond Hill, Ontario. Put your hands together once again for your bum, the Korean Zombie! Yay! And to my right, fighting out of the red corner, weighing 156 pounds, comes to us with 10 fights and 16 years old, representing Fighting Island and Amherstburg, Ontario. Put your hands together once again for Dawson Waltz-Raby! Our referee with fighter instructions.
These two are ready. Look at the intensity on this one. This is our first Boxing Ontario sanctioned amateur fight this evening. 3 2-minute rounds for this one. The Korean Zombie in the blue, Yabon Yang, and Dawson Waltz-Raby in the red. And look at this, just rushing at him and using that jab wisely as we saw in our first bout, Kara. This is the complete opposite of what we saw in our first, and this is off to a crazy start.
Well, sometimes you see this, right? Because there's a discrepancy. Blue has 5 fights, red has 10, and red might have come out here thinking, we're in a chess match, this is boxing.
No doubt about it.
Blue came out, guns a-blazing, and that's usually more novice, but also we've seen this from Cheriki Academy before. We've seen this is exactly how they come out every single time. So anyone in preparation for someone from Cheriki Academy, you have to be ready for the heat. You have to weather the storm initially. Red doing a great job switching up with using that jab, trying to keep him out. But at Southpaw Orthodox, you have to fight this fight differently. Absolutely.
It's the intensity that they train with that they're bringing into the boxing ring this evening, Kara. And you said it right. I mean, Dawson Waltz-Raby, he walked down to this ring. He had all day. He took his complete time. And you see a little bit of experience kind of coming into effect here. But, I mean, he's taking some shots and he's doing some damage.
And everyone ends up having a fighter like this, and a fight like this, where someone just comes straight forward, bulldozer, and you have to make those adjustments, and you have to up your intensity, and you've got to be ready for something like that. Blue actually did take some shots in the beginning of the second because he started running into head first.
It's still the first round, ladies and gentlemen, too. Yeah. Let's remind our folks watching at home here on MTC Windsor's YouTube channel. We're still in our first round. That was an intense start. It was stopped quickly by the official and restarted. And here again.
Yeah, we have pre-standing 8 count and post-standing 8 count. We're kind of a different style.
Yeah. But back in the center of the ring now. Calm down just a little bit here. But still big shots being thrown in exchange.
Blue doing a good job of leading with the backhand, right? So when you face a southpaw or left-handed person, that's what you have to dominate. Dip your head offline, hit that backhanded shot. And Red doesn't even really need to be that close. He's so long. He's got to kind of punch before he thinks he should. When you have someone running at you, you have to let your hands go before you think they're there, because they'll be there by the time your hand releases.
Have to use your reach to your advantage. And you see now Yabong Yang kind of cornered there, but coming out again with that intensity that they train with here in the final 10 seconds. Official stopping this one for another count.
Yeah, and I mean, this is, you almost have to do this type of training in the gym too, like have exposure to someone that almost can have the experience to not hurt you, but like come at you like that, so you get ready for that. So referee stopping the fight.
Well, I think that Thomas Waltz-Raby did not expect what he was met with this afternoon here in Windsor. Did not expect them to come out the way that they train in the in the gym out in Richmond Hill at Cheriki Academy, and their game plan came to fruition here. What an exciting second fight here at the Wincity Fight Night. This is Unfinished Business live from Windsor, Ontario. Trudell and Banfic, our main event. I'm Drake DeMoro, just joined by Kayla Rowe, who will give us our official announcement in the ring. She will be serving duty as both our ring announcer and color commentator this evening.
All right, let's hear it for both these fighters being brave getting in here tonight. Your winner with 1 minute and 50 seconds in the second round. The ref stops the contest. Put your hands together for Yabong, the Korean Zombie!
As Yabong Yang celebrates, Dawson Waltz-Raby himself puts that medal over his opponent's neck. A sign of respect. And Dawson Waltz-Raby has nothing to be ashamed of. He had the courage to step in the ring here, which is more than I have. I mean, I'm here on the outside just talking about it. And all that is a learning experience to go back to the boxing club and work on any mistakes you may have made. Be ready for such an onslaught. You just never know what to expect. Nothing to be ashamed of if you're Dawson Waltz-Raby. 2 down, 7 more to go here. The Serbian Center in Windsor, Ontario. Any of these random sound clips could be useful, and it's better to do it here live in the venue, get that background noise to kind of match, although I'm a little bit afraid these might be peaking a little bit more than we wanted because of the background noise.
Our outstanding sponsors, Cheriki WHG Cabinets, Bikini Bottom Wax Bar, Team Gore Real Estate, Hot Tub and Sauna Store, Content Construction, Penalty Box Windsor, Dominion Collision, and Colorworks. Thank you guys so much for being a part of Wincity Fight Night. Our next fight will be 3 3-minute rounds. First up, making his way to the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. Put your hands together for Bezkorovainyi.
Bezkorovainyi making his way to the ring, representing Destiny Boxing Club in Kitchener, Ontario. 36 years old, weighed in today at 144 pounds and 12 bouts under his belt, coming in for his 13th sanctioned fight. Last minute, decided to take this one, so this becomes an exhibition, 3 3-minute rounds.
Put your hands together for
Caleb Jean, the hometown boy representing MTC Windsor at 28 years old, weighed in at 145 pounds today, and he's got 8 bouts under his belt. And he is an avid boxer. We've seen him here in the Wincity Fight Night series in the past. Again, slowly making his way to the ring, taking all the time that he has to carry out his game plan here. At the Serbian Center, I'm Drake Demore. We're going to send it over to Kara Rowe, our ring announcer, in just a moment. She will be joining me again at the broadcast booth.
Here we go. This will be 3 3-minute rounds. To my left, fighting out of the blue corner, weighing for 44 pounds. Has 12 fights and is 36 years old, representing Destiny Boxing Club in Kitchener, Ontario. Put your hands together once again for Vadim Bezkorovainyi. And to my right, fighting out of the Source with 8 fights, 28 years old, representing MTC Windsor and Windsor, Ontario. Put your hands together once again for Caleb Jean. The referee with further instructions.
Three 3-minute rounds in the squared circle here between Caleb Jean and Vadim from Kitchener, Ontario. Kitchener versus Windsor. Battle of the 519, you might say. 2 experienced boxers ready to showcase their skills here in Windsor again, Kara.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity. I've seen Caleb fight
Absolutely
quite a few times, and it's interesting that you never know, like he might box, he might infight, he might turn southpaw, so it's kind of, you just never know. He adapts really well to his opponents.
Absolutely. It's funny you say that because as you're in the ring, I said, Caleb Jean, he's an avid boxer. We've seen him here in the ring before. We know that he loves it, but it's a different aspect of the sport too. Just like you said, he might come in there and box, he might come in there and fight.
Seeing definitely the experience, of Vadim coming in, using his jab really well, and getting that like kind of in and out mentality.
Yes, a few more bouts under his belt and a few more years on the mileage, I guess you can say. Respect your elders.
Yeah, it kind of makes me, when you watch someone like that, it says he only has 12 fights, it makes me wonder, did he come from another country where they didn't count the fights?
Yeah, that's not what I'll say. What else?
Because, I mean, we know when we fight people from certain countries, it does not tell the real story of what it says in a passbook.
Like to fabricate those records a little bit. But it also made me think, is this something that he's been at for a long time? Is it something that he picked up later in his life? Or is it something that, who knows if we'll know the true story here?
No, some of the little things he's doing, he's got more experience than we're looking at on paper here, I think. because you don't see that at 12 fights.
Absolutely.
Typically.
And this is an exhibition. This is a last-minute fight for Vadim. Decided to take this one pretty much last-minute notice.
Or it's like someone you'll see, they fought as a child. They fought as a kid. They started when they were 8 and they fought for, a bunch of years, and that's not showing up on a pass book somewhere.
Absolutely. And that experience is incredibly vital. You start something like this when you're that young. You're going to be quite good when you're 36 years old. I mean, look at the shots that he's delivering here to Caleb Jean. He's definitely taking some damage.
Yeah. I don't think the 12 tells its full story. But you're seeing him go outside, inside. He's splitting the gloves, coming back around them. And Caleb, going with the change up on the defense, just like the hands-up defense.
Trying to push forward, though, off the ropes. So there's Caleb Jean. Finds himself back in the center. That's exactly where he wants to be.
Well, this is the problem. You can't, someone who's like Blue, you can't wait on them because they're just going to pot shot. They're going to go in, get their shot off, and get out. And you're just going to keep missing and waiting, right? He's got to just press and get in.
Absolutely. As we approach the end of this first round of 3, Caleb Jean might have figured out what he has in store here with Vadim, obviously an experienced boxer, and maybe the game plan needs to be switched up just a bit.
Yeah, and I think he's got to kind of come in there and be first and maybe circle to the left a little bit. Now he's standing southpaw, but circle to the right because Vadim uses that jab so much that if he circled to the left, he'd probably avoid that jab and be able to set something up for himself.
I'm certainly feeling out that Vadim might have a little bit more experience than him. He needs to, kind of change course.
The first 10 seconds, I'm like, this isn't 12 fights. I've been around this sport for 30 years.
It's absolutely a storied fighter here on the commentary booth here with me, Drake DeMore, joined by Kara Rowe. It's been the last 10 seconds of this first round of 3 3-minute rounds. Nothing to be ashamed of if you're Caleb Jean either. I mean, Caleb Jean in the red, Vadim in the blue. So this is the battle of the 519, Kara. Kitchener-Waterloo versus Windsor, Ontario.
Yeah, and I mean, you're definitely seeing, and this is an exhibition, right? This is why you're seeing the bigger gloves. But it's impressive because when the officials did ask them, do you guys want to do 2 or 3 minute rounds? Because sometimes with an exhibition, they can scale it back a bit. I think because there's a little bit of an experience difference, sometimes you have to make it an exhibition if there's a weight discrepancy, because you can only be within so many pounds, right? I think for them it was a little bit more of the experience because Vadim was a last-minute switch-up for one of his teammates. And so you're seeing the bigger gloves, and there will be no winner at the end. Like, they both come out their winner, but definitely good experience.
I think on paper both fighters would agree to take an extra 3 minutes rather than not. They came here for one thing and one thing only, and no matter what happens in these next 3 to 6 minutes, Kara, this is just an experience to gain and grow from here. And here we're ready for our second round of 3. Again, Vadim in the blue and Caleb Jean in the red.
So the problem when you hold your hands up like Caleb is you have to turn your pinkies in because you could get split too easily with your elbows. If you turn them in, it'll block all those punches. Caleb doing a good job punching off the ropes and answering back. No, Caleb on the ropes punching back, because you don't want to just sit there and take shots or else the ref's going to stop it. He's done a good job of just being active enough
to keep us going. We got a time here actually.
The doctor's going to check out. Check Caleb's eye.
Yeah, definitely took some damage in that first round. He saw getting a little welted.
Well, and he did, when he went to the corner, he was pointing it out to his corner, just like, I don't know if he was saying, I can't see out of it, or it's swollen, or am I bleeding, kind of drawing attention to it, because he could feel it.
Yeah, definitely looked like it was a little bit difficult to see out of. And look at just the intensity from Vadim, though, Kara. This is the difference here.
Well, that's that snappy jab. You can split somebody's eye easily just when you get that snap to it.
Ooh. Of course, the bigger gloves doing a little bit more damage. Maybe, maybe not. But we find ourselves in the middle. Nice duck there from Caleb Jean.
And that's what Caleb can go right back to his jab too. I would hit the slip jab on that on Vadim just because he's using it as a feel out too, right? So just stopping any forward momentum from Caleb.
Absolutely. And sorry, go ahead, Karen.
I can see why Caleb's corner telling him to get inside because he does really well. He throws really nice short shots inside, but you have to keep your hips back. See how he swung behind his head? Because if you stand upright and try and throw short shots, they're definitely going to always land behind the head.
And again, where the fundamentals just come into play, again, against an experienced fighter, maybe more experienced, you have to just stick to the basics at times and just do what you can do.
That's Caleb's doing a good job, though, of he's standing tall, then he's ducking down. You've got to keep that head moving and make them wonder where you're going to be.
Staying calm and collective, too.
Oh, great job. See, he does a really good job when his feet are switched into a southpaw. He's able to throw off that right away. Not a lot of people can do that, but you definitely see the experience level of Vadim. Vadim just needs to go back to his jab, too. Just to prevent, like, at this point, you don't want any headbutts either when you're coming in and clashing like that.
And a little bit opposite for him, too, right? He feels like he might have the higher ground here, where he can kind of get a little bit more risky and play with different things. So maybe it's not the course to go down, right? Let's stick to the fundamentals, too, even if you are in the driver's seat.
Yeah, you don't want to be in this habit where you get tied up and, you know, someone's shooting behind your head, because sometimes those can land. They're not intentional, but they can land behind your head and actually throw your equilibrium off.
Oh, absolutely.
So he's better off going back to what he was doing, Vadim, as the pot shotting, like fire, get out, fire, put a combination together, get back out, making the guy miss, right? That's essentially boxing.
Yep. Yeah, that's part of the game. And just do not underestimate your opponents, no matter what. Break up on the middle and ready
This
to keep
is
going.
where,
This jab.
so think of Mike Tyson for Caleb. Like, he's got to come in on that slip jab angle, that angle with a jab, double jab his way in, get inside and let his shots rip. Just to kind of stymie Vadim's jab a little bit.
Indeed.
Just like that.
Mike Tyson was the king of that.
Yeah, getting inside taller fighters.
Yeah. Easier said than done here, but we are about to get ready for our third and final round of our third fight of the evening here at Wincity Fight Night. Unfinished business. Trudell, Banfic in the main event. Two of Ontario's most decorated fighters, Canada's most decorated fighters as well. This is what it's all about, Kara. Just showcasing the sports, the martial arts. And again, shout out to MTC Windsor for putting this all on.
So we're going to see a slower pace, I think. I think they're going to, like, as much as you want to come out for a faster pace in the third, I think we're seeing some fatigue set in. You know,
for sure.
When you have somebody like Caleb coming in at you, Vadim has the experience, but Caleb comes in with the pressure, and that is exhausting. To face someone who just doesn't stop, and they keep coming at you and keep coming at you. You're basically fighting them off you the entire time.
3 3-minute rounds is exhausting, Kara, and this is our third and final of this fight. And again, you see still that intensity from Vadim, but yes, definitely the pace has kind of slowed down, got a little bit more methodical. I think it's going to slow down a little bit more as this third and final round goes on.
We'll see this for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
This is definitely probably, if Vadim looks at some of his fights, this is probably one of the tiring ones when you have someone that keeps coming at you like that. And he just needs to go back to his jab just to keep breaking everything back up.
Indeed, maybe not expected from Vadim's side.
Caleb's got to start throwing back, like after he shells up, he keeps blinking that eye, so I don't know if the doctor's going to have to look at it again. Yeah, this is where we're at.
Yeah, the left eye of Caleb Jean definitely is.
So you never know if it was kind of like a snappy punch or a thumb in the eye or even his own, you know what I mean?
Right.
When you're blocking punches, that can happen.
Could even be the equipment from the gloves, maybe slipping and getting you in the eye. That could be annoying for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good opportunity for Vadim to take some deep breaths, hold it in his lungs,
Absolutely.
and he can come back just as explosive as he started the round.
Still 2 minutes and 18 seconds remaining here in this one. Caleb Jean wants to resume and finish this one out.
Yeah, he's not. The fact that he wasn't answering back, though, was kind of telling us a little bit. It's bothering him a little more.
Concerning for sure. That's why they stop and check to be safe here again.
Vadim's got to go back to the body, though. He's starting to headhunt a little bit, which, you know, had a lot of success. See how he's going upstairs a little bit too much? Go upstairs, downstairs, start dropping those hands, and you'll get some clean shots off.
It is working out, but Caleb Jean doing a good job of closing, better yet, creating some distance at times there, but just taking damage as it happens.
Yeah, I don't think Vadim needs to be sitting in the pocket and go trading with him. I think that he could just get in, get out, and land some clean shots.
I'm surprised he's not kind of playing to that level. You know what I mean?
I feel like he's just thinking, okay, well, let's just go to war.
Yeah, like we're here for one thing,
16-ounce gloves. It's like an intense sparring session.
Right. Let's have a little fun with it, but maybe more fun for one than the other.
Yeah.
Minute and a half remaining.
Caleb does so well when he answers. It's just he doesn't let his hands go enough.
No doubt. Got to give him credit where it's due, but this will be a learning experience for him after as well to go back and study the tape here.
Yeah, like look at Vadim really
again
pushing the pace here at this point.
Yeah, finding him again against the ropes. And a big right hand was delivered there.
He's a lot more front foot heavy in this round where he's like falling into his punches. They'll be a little bit heavier and help him go forward, but you don't make somebody miss in that position. You got to get your foot, your weight in the back leg for that.
And that could be the fatigue setting into. You saw a deep breath from Vadim there as the referees broke him up.
It's hard to throw. Can you imagine the punch count if someone was like punch count for blue?
That's exhausting too.
Yeah,
it's just
really
a count
high. Yeah. And this is an intense pace for 3 minutes too.
Oh,
Got to remember that. This is like a 2-minute pace, right?
Yes,
so much.
We say it all the time, but these rounds might not seem long, but they are tiring. They are grueling, no matter how much you train and get ready for this. It's a tough thing, man. And yes, 25 seconds remain here. In our third and final round, almost a big left hand there from Vadim.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't want Caleb's got to answer back a little bit more just to slow Vadim down. Just because if there's no consequence to you throwing, you're just going to keep going.
Final seconds here is not time to retreat. Time to lay it all out, and that's how it wraps up. This is an exhibition. Both men's hands will be raised. Obviously a little bit more favorable if you're Vadim, but at the end of the day, neither fighter has anything to be ashamed of here. This is what the Wincity Fight Night series is all about. That was our third fight. We got 9 total this evening. We'll be here to call all the action on MTC Windsor's YouTube channel. I'm Drake Demore. I'll be joined by Kayla Rowe, who's going to give us our official announcement here in the ring in a moment. I'd like to thank all our sponsors for making this possible. We said, thank you to MTC for making these Fight Night series possible. But thank you to all our sponsors: Chow Cafe, WHG Cabinets, Team Gorn Real Estate, Windsor Hot Tub and Sauna Store, Conquer Construction, Penalty Box Windsor, and Bikini Bottom
All right, this is an exhibition for
in
you
Windsor.
this evening. Let's give a big round of applause for both Vadim and Kayla. Big round of applause. An outstanding show for us tonight.
Indeed, an outstanding showing from both gentlemen. As their hands are raised into the air, they're given the hard way they deserve. They shake hands, and that's what it's all about, the sportsmanship of the sport on display here at Wincity Fight Night. Unfinished business, Trudell Banfic.
Fight Night. A big thank you to our sponsors: Chow Cafe, WHG Cabinets, Team Gorn Real Estate, Bikini Bottom Wax Bar, Hot Tub and Sauna Store, Windsor Hot Tub and Sauna Store, Conquer Construction, Penalty Box in Windsor, Dominion Collision, Color Works, and again, thanks to Boxing Ontario for being here and putting on this show. You can see all the fights at MTC Windsor, the YouTube channel. That's why I'm standing here in my spot, so that I'm not in front of you. You can see all your lovely faces for tonight. We are ready for the next fight of the evening. This will be 3 1.5-minute rounds. First up, making his way to the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. Put your hands together for Hashimi.
Sefer Hashimi making his way to the ring with a little bit of intensity as we can expect from Cheriki Academy in Richmond, Ontario. 14 years old, 147 pounds, coming in for his first amateur sanctioned fight.
And his opponent making his way to the ring fight will be in red corner. Put your hands together for
Ole Golub making his way to the ring. He came down from Kitchener, Ontario this evening, representing Destiny Boxing Club. 13 years old, weighed in at 147 pounds, and he too is ready for his first sanctioned fight here under Boxing Ontario, live in Windsor, Ontario. I'm Drake Demore, and I'll be joined by Kara Rowe in a few moments. She is acting as our ring announcer and color commentator.
Here we go. Once again, this will be 3 1.5-minute rounds. To my left, fighting out of the blue corner, weighing 155 pounds, making his debut as an amateur boxer tonight. 14 years old, representing Cheriki Academy in Richmond Hill, Ontario. Put your hands together once again for Sefer Hashimi. And to my right, fighting out of the red corner, 147 pounds, also making his amateur debut tonight, 14 years old, representing Destiny Boxing Club at Kitchener, Ontario. Once again, put your hands together for Ole Golub. Referee and fighter instructions.
Three 1.5-minute rounds for two debuting amateurs here, Ole Golub and Sefer Hashimi. Hashimi in the blue representing Richmond, Ontario, Cheriki Academy, and Golub in the red corner, red gloves, representing Destiny Boxing Club in Kitchener, Ontario. Kara, these two young men, their first amateur, are eager to get things going here.
But remember, if you're going to face Cheriki Academy, you got to be, every single time, they come out swinging, and that's the blue corner. And you're seeing that right away. Another Southpaw Orthodox combo that we're seeing, which makes things tricky, especially for your first fight.
Yeah, indeed. We saw the intensity as he walked down as well from Yabong Yang, the Korean zombie, earlier this evening, Kara. And, I mean, that's the way they train, and you see it coming into play here. But
usually some big loopy punches, too, you see. And that's where Red's scoring down the pipe a little bit. And you just have to sometimes weather that storm when someone comes, get your hands up and fire down the pipe because it's going to be wide open. And I'm really impressed with Ole, too, because he was so nervous when he, weighed in and did his physical. So, getting a chance to finally get in there and get those nerves out a little bit.
Indeed. I mean, it's anxiety, it's adrenaline,
yeah,
it's so many
your
emotions,
first fight, you have
right?
no idea what to expect, right?
And two young men, 13 and 14 years old, we got to give them the credit due to step in the ring and do this. I mean, they must be eager.
It's a good footwork for Red. He's trying to figure around how to get around that taller opponent's jab, try to move around because, you can jab it. Opposite stance, you can jab because it really throws the person off and how to work around it. That's that big looping left that you're seeing from blue, and that's pretty traditional from that club. But you're seeing Red throw his backhand straight down the pipe and scoring in that moment because when you open up, your opponent opens up so wide. I mean, you're leaving a big hole open, right?
Indeed.
It's hard to play defense.
Indeed. Ole Golub answering wisely and finding lanes, finding pockets to answer to that intensity that Cheriki Academy likes to bring to the ring. 2 more rounds to go, 1.5 minutes each.
And Hashimi is definitely landing that big backhand, right? He loops it around and lands it. He'll start to learn how to angle his head a little bit so he's not just open down the pipe when he does it, but he's doing a good job using his range really well for that.
Indeed. I mean, that's a lot to take in when you're up against someone like Sefer Hashimi, and I don't blame him for having to change course at times, but it's going to be an interesting second round, Kara. Let's see what they learned in the first and what they'll carry in to the second. This is Wincity Fight Night, Unfinished Business.
So once again, Safer Hashimi in the blue, and we have Golub in the red. Definitely nice when they have the full outfit representing the color of the corner they're in. Red doing a good job looking for, you can tell he's looking for that backhand straight down the pipe, and his footwork. You know, he gets explosive, does a secondary attack. And again, this is what I expect from the Cheriki gym.
Right.
Like, they don't back down, they come in hard, they respond hard, and they don't always throw straight punches. A lot of looping stuff, but the intensity they bring is something that's it's tougher to prepare for.
Indeed. The game plan coming to fruition for Destiny Boxing Club, but met with a lot of intensity from Cheriki, as to be expected. This is becoming a very exciting fight for first amateur for both of these two young men.
It really is, and I think Red was told, you know, go back to the body a little bit more, and he's listened really well because he's been going upstairs, downstairs.
Wild shots off the ropes there from Hashimi. And again, after that first fight that we saw from Cheriki Academy, we were expecting this, and I figured they had the upper hand.
Yeah, I remembered it from our last show. It was like that's how they came in.
Out.
Exactly. It was memorable.
Might be a unique game plan, but we'll see how it works out for him, Kara.
Yeah, I mean, and Red's actually footwork is really good. He's able to bring both of his feet, because he rushes in, but he's able to bring both feet and be in position. And these guys just sitting toe-to-toe in the pocket. And remember, these are 1.5 minute rounds, so it does go by quickly.
Indeed it does, and that's the end of our second. We still have one to go. Safer Hashimi was forced into his own blue corner there at the very end by Golub. And it's going to be an interesting third and final round here in Windsor.
It becomes hard to score when they're getting so close and it's so intense, and you're seeing this just like the back and forth battle.
You got to say, it's a tough one to call right now. It might be pretty even, but we still got a minute and a half to see who will take this one home. Because we're going to have a winner for this one no matter what, Kara.
I almost would say that blue had the first round, red might have had the second, or vice versa. I think a lot of it comes down to this final round.
Thankfully, we can watch it back here on MTC Windsor's YouTube channel, because sometimes you got to say, hey, I don't know, that was a lot. Let me go back and get another thought here.
Yeah, and sometimes what you see on TV, too, is not something, like you see different things ringside, and because you could hear some of the shots landing and how heavy. But amateur boxing is a little bit more about like control of the center of the ring, volume, not necessarily the big punishing shots.
That's the difference, and the reason why you have to be in attendance here in Windsor at the Serbian Center for these kind of fights. You can feel the intensity, you can feel all those aspects that you're talking about, Kara. It's in the air here at the Serbian Center.
You know, and these kids having to figure out the opposite stance in their first fight is pretty exceptional too.
Absolutely, Kara. Not to put them down, but you said it. They're kids. They're just children. Like, they got a long way to go, and we got to give them the credit deserved.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like two young men here, two fully grown men almost. Look at these boys right in front of us.
So, and I think the instruction for Red was like kind of get on the inside, get inside that range, but he's smothering himself a little bit. And that's tricky. You learn that with experience.
Indeed. Again, we always say all of these fights are a learning experience, especially for if you're having your first amateur, or even if you have 10 under your belt. This is just a way to improve, get better, and learn a new lesson.
Red did some really good blocking there. He's just got to make sure he gets in the habit of responding every time he blocks, because his defense is good, his feet are good, he puts it together well.
And you'll see, getting that pressure into the corner, that's where he wants to be, but he's going to have to kind of take your coaching advice there, Kara, going forward.
Blue is just, the thing is, because of Blue's range, you're going to see those shots land a little cleaner if you're a judge, right? Like Red's trying to be the aggressor, but he's got to land a few more shots clean, not get smothered. Whereas Blue, because of the longer range, you're seeing the shots land a little cleaner.
Definitely the final 10 seconds here. This is time to lay it all out for both young men. Right in the center. Yep. And you can see Shahemi's tired, and that's it.
I'm so impressed with these two.
Got to be proud of these two young men.
And then Red landing a bunch of big right hands at the end, so you never know which way the judges are going to go.
No doubt about it. He might have found the answer to Cheriki Academy's intensity. Will it be enough to take home the win? We are going to find out in just a moment here. Kara Rowe will be on the call for the official announcement. It's Wincity Fight Night, Unfinished Business, live in Windsor, Ontario.
All right, this is both of these fighters' first fight. What an outstanding fight. Let's make some noise for these two. After 3 rounds of boxing, and we go to the scorecards and have a split decision. Your winner, fighting out of the red corner, Golub!
And he can't believe it. Look at the reaction from Ole Golub. That says it all right there, man. Wow, what a showing from both young men. As mentioned, this is their first amateurs for both of them. Wow, what a showing from both. A split decision win for Ole Golub from Kitchener, Ontario. And if you're Sefer Hashimi, you got nothing to be ashamed of. So close, a split decision in your first ever amateur fight.
Our sponsors, Chow Cafe, WHG Cabinets, Team Warren Real Estate, the Keegan Banfic Wax Bar, Windsor Hot Tub and Sauna Store, Penalty Box Windsor, Dominion Collision, and Cargo Works. We appreciate everything you've done to make tonight happen and help these guys develop in their career. This is Wincity Fight Night. You can also find the fights online at MTC Windsor, their YouTube channel. Our next fight of the evening will be a female fight. Always exciting. Not because I'm biased or anything, but this will be 3 2-minute rounds. First up, making her way to the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. Put your hands together for Selena, the Warrior Clawson.
Indeed, our first and only women's fight of the evening, as announced by Kara Rowe there. Selena Clawson making her way to the ring. She's got 1 bout under her belt already, representing Championship City Boxing Club in St. Thomas, Ontario. She's 18 years old, weighed in at 120 pounds this evening. And I'm not going to lie, she's got her hands full with her opponent this evening, who we've seen here at the Wincity Fight Night Series before.
Her opponent making her way to the ring, fighting out of the red corner. Put your hands together for Marissa, the Queen of Violence, Conteu.
The Queen of Violence, Marissa Conteu, making her way back to the ring here, representing MTC Windsor in Windsor, Ontario. She's 27 years old, weighed in at 114 pounds today. She got 3 bouts under her belt, and she's coming off of 2 straight stoppages as well. Most recently here at the Wincity Martial Arts Extravaganza, and formerly in a K1 kickboxing fight at King Striking Series. Beautiful knockout victory for the Queen of Violence.
3 2-minute rounds. 2 left. Fighting out of the blue corner, weighing 120 pounds, comes to us with 1 fight at 18 years old, representing Championship City Boxing Club in St. Thomas, Ontario. Put your hands together once again for Selena. Selena, the Warrior Clawson. And to my right, fighting out of the red corner, weighing 114 pounds. She has 3 kickboxing fights, but her first boxing fight tonight, 27 years old, representing MTC Windsor and Windsor, Ontario. Put your hands together once again for Marissa, the Queen of Violence, Conteu. And the referee with fighter instructions.
Well, correction from Kara Rowe there. This is actually Marissa Conteu's first amateur boxing. She does have 3 bouts under her belt, but all under kickboxing. As mentioned, 2 of them via stoppage. We know what she's capable of.
Keep going.
3 2-minute rounds. Clawson in the blue, Conteu in the red. We're ready to get this started. Bell is rung and we're underway. Ladies touch hands and a little bit of a methodical start here, but intense, and this is what to be expected, Kara. I think we know what to expect from the Queen of Violence. And yeah, I think this one's going to be a hot start, but let's see how it kind of unfolds from there. Big exchanges early in the middle here. Beautiful combinations from both young ladies.
Yeah, Marissa doing a really good job of throwing from her range. Like, she doesn't get too close, and she tries to, like, even throwing backing up, which is very skillful, you know, for such a novice fighter in terms of, you know, not having much boxing itself experience. So you're seeing she's doing a good job fighting backing up, because blue is very front foot heavy. When you're front foot heavy and your head goes forward first, you fall forward, right? There's no control over your balance. And so she's kind of just really falling into those shots. And Marissa fighting back on that has changed the course for her. You have to find angles when someone dips their head forward and falls over that front foot, because they can only come forward in one direction.
Indeed. Both delivering strikes and their opponents still coming forward with more combinations and answers to what they have. This is an early start, I guess you could say, but starting to slow down a little bit here. Getting to know each other as these two ladies here.
Marissa really knows her range well.
Indeed. You see that when with her speed, really.
Well, because, you know, usually newer fighters, they get too close before they try to punch, because you think it's a moving target, right? So you think it's there, and by the time you throw, it's not there anymore. It's too close. And she does a really good job of anticipating that space.
And that's where those wild shots come from. This fight is stopped, brought to the corner. Selena Clawson has taken a little bit of shots here. I think they're just adjusting the headgear, Kara, but as well you can see like she's taking some shots, face turned red a little bit. But that being said, so has Marissa. Marissa has been taking some as well, and they're both in this one, some experienced fighters here.
Yeah, this is where you get to that neutral corner, and the biggest thing is take that deep breath in through your nose, hold it, fill your lungs back up so you can come out strong and fully recovered.
Right, this is an advantage. This is a little extracurricular, I guess you can say. 30 seconds remain here in this first round of 3, and both getting a little bit of a chance to catch their breath here, especially with the Queen of Violence.
And so when they come back in, again, red needs to just keep angling, because when you have someone that just gets really front foot heavy and head heavy, you've got to just keep finding angles, because they can just come straight in a straight line, and you find those angles, you get some clean shots off.
And only 30 seconds remain here in this first round, right? So let's get through this 30 seconds and carry out the game plan in a second.
Marissa doing a good job getting her head offline and finding those angles. These guys throwing a lot of leather in this first round. It's pretty awesome. Doing a good job of putting combinations together. Good jab. And that spacing of the jab is great.
Indeed, love to see it. This is why it's all display. What a big jab there from Marissa. You can see it took some damage from Selena, I should say.
Yeah, and I think because her stance is so forward, she was able to not get a standing 8 count. If she was more straight up on that, 100% the ref would have jumped in. And that's that really front foot heavy. Kind of think of like someone on a starting line of 100 meters, right? That really heavy front foot.
All you got to do is just stiff arm them, and you're gonna halt them there.
But Marissa did a really good job adapting to that heavy front foot and like finding those angles. She started throwing all her shots offline, so that's what you want to do. And I mean, for blue to be 18 and delivering these combos is pretty awesome.
This is something maybe she's been at for some time. As you mentioned, Kara, this is our one and only women's fight here at the Wincity Fight Night this evening, unfortunately, because this is what we love to put on display. Everyone gets a piece of the pie, and Conteu and Selena Clawson are showcasing women boxing here in Ontario right now.
And Conteu will be able to do both. Like, she typically in the red corner, you see her kickboxing, but she's doing a really good job.
Yeah. Yeah, you actually corrected me in your announcement. I mean, 3 bouts under her belt, but all in kickboxing. This is her first amateur boxing sanctioned fight, to be more specific. And obviously the experience coming into play for both ladies. I mean,
yeah, I'm impressed with them being able to both of them being able to handle the pressure, the volume of shots. And Conteu bringing us some more angles, and Blue continues to come. And as soon as if she gets hit, if she blocks a shot, she comes back, and that's very impressive, because sometimes it takes athletes a long time to learn that, to answer, to keep answering. See, look at how often she's not letting Conteu get away with anything. She is responding every single time.
Conteu almost with 10 years the elder of Clawson, but the experience looks to be unmatched.
Yeah, I mean, if you're seeing Blue keep up with Conteu now, and she's 10 years younger, I mean, you can imagine her at 27, 28.
This could be a diamond in the rough here at Wincity Fight Night. The future of combat sports starts here, and that's what it's all about. You never know who could be the next big thing.
Yeah, and I mean, again, what's impressive is that Blue constantly answers. Like, even a shot, Conteu lands some big shots, and she answers.
Indeed, I got to be honest. Coming into this as an 18-year-old, we kind of assumed that she might have been nervous going up against a maybe more experienced fighter, an older fighter, but she looks completely calm and controlled here, even though she's taken damage from the Queen of Violence. Yeah. You got to give her credit where it's due. I mean,
I think they've both done a really good job.
Indeed.
You want to make sure you get used to using that jab a little bit more. Set everything up. Everyone thinks you have to land the jab like it's a shot. You just measure people, right? You can use it for so many different reasons. You go to the body, you can measure out, you can range find.
It could win you fights. And you got one more round to go in this one. 2 more minutes remain between Conteu and Selena Clawson. St. Thomas, Ontario for the blue corner, Championship City Boxing Club going up against MTC Windsor from right here in Windsor, Ontario. And I mean, we know the coaches, and I know the coaches in the clubs around Windsor, Kara. Cedric Ben in the corner of Conteu. Obviously, a lot of experience for him as well. And boxing around the world. So obviously both coaches, their experience is really showing here in this one.
Well, you're also seeing in the blue corner, Kathy Williams was just inducted into the Women's Boxing Hall of Fame, and she has a storied history with boxing as well. So, I mean, you're seeing Cedric Ben, kind of Team Canada, Kathy Williams, Hall of Famer. I mean, these are 2 amazing corners facing each other, and that's why you're seeing these girls who really don't have many fights, doing something really great. Just checking on the nose.
Yeah. Because indeed, this is a great fight. This has been a great fight through 4 minutes so far, 2 2-minute rounds under our belt, and we still got 2 to go here.
And you're seeing, the doctor, she's checked out a few fighters in tonight's Wincity Fight Night and has let them fight. It hasn't been that, knee-jerk reaction. She's like,
that's why they're here,
is fighting. I mean, you're going to see a couple of...
Oh, it's bound to happen. That's why we have them on site. That's why we need them. And here we go, ready to continue.
And these girls really going at it.
This is what it all comes down to. And a quick stop there. Conteu taken.
And so basically, Conteu being told to put her head up. You really can't take your target away by putting your head down, and that's just something you learned. So you're seeing her duck her head sometimes. If you fold in half like that, your opponent doesn't have a target. It's not fair, right? Marissa doing a really good job of those overhand rights, landing clean because she's pulling her head offline because she's really realized Blue's going to answer. She's coming back with something, and that work rate is really impressive.
One thing's for sure, you get the entertainment value here at Wincity Fight Night, especially when the Queen of Violence is in the ring.
Well, I think
it's an exciting one.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get either another doctor stoppage or a standing 8 count. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
It's just not something. Their focus is the safety of all the fighters.
Indeed.
And you just want to make sure.
Indeed, and
that
if you might have caught Selena Clawson there on the camera, I mean,
Yeah, and
clear
I
as
don't
day.
think it's a broken nose because you didn't
No.
see any stop in the work rate of Blue, right? She
No.
kept going. It's just more of that bloody nose. When
Right.
you're kind of a newer fighter, your nose adapts. I know that from experience.
Yeah. So we're just working through what we got to get through to continue this one here at the Wincity Fight Night. Still a minute remains in this third and final round.
The work rate, like the volume of punches these two are throwing is crazy
It's
impressive.
unbelievable. And it's impressive as can be. I mean, you'll have one fight under your belt. You're going to have more than me, and I am incredibly impressed. Look at this.
Yep.
Continuing into our last minute here.
You know, and Marissa's having to put combinations together. Like you
Indeed.
could tell she wants to. Oh, you can't bump like that. Shoulder bump.
It's a learning experience. It's a learning experience.
But I mean, this is what she's learning very early on. Sometimes you have to fire back with high volume because you can't just pot shot if someone's coming at you with a barrage of punches. And Blue just keeps coming with big combinations. So Marissa's seeing, like, you want to get in and out, but if she keeps coming, you got to gain some respect and get those big shots off.
The big right hand was delivered by Marissa.
I like Blue to finish with a hook a little bit more because she throws 1-2s consistently, and I think if she brought the hook around, she'd have some success with that too. But that's, again, all just learning. They're both doing great. Oh, she got in trouble for spinning. Yeah. You just can't turn your back to your opponent. It's not like MMA, spinning back fist is going to come. You have to.
Understandable. Final seconds, got to lay it all out on the line here, and that's how it
Great
ends. Two
fight.
big hands by both ladies, and wow, what a fight here in Windsor for the Wincity Fight Night. Unfinished business, and these two ladies have unfinished business after that one. What an exciting fight. Neither has anything to be ashamed of, and Carol Rose is going to be entering the ring right now for our official announcement. That was our 5th fight of the evening. Still 4 more to go here at Wincity Fight Night. Unfinished business from the Serbian Center. I'm Drake Demore, your voice of the Wincity Fight Night series, and thank you for tuning in to MTC Windsor's YouTube channel. There's so much more to go back and watch, and there's so much more in the future to come. Be sure to subscribe for much more local martial arts extravaganzas, fight nights, you name it. And there's the man himself, Reno Balcastro. We got to give him a shout out. I know he doesn't want it, but thank you, Reno, for making this all possible, for allowing all of us to be part of it, and giving a platform for these athletes, these martial artists, these fighters to do what they want to do. And that's what these two ladies came to do. They delivered, man. They delivered on an impressive showing here. We're going to get the official announcement now here from Carol Rowe.
All right, before we talk about the winner of tonight's fight, I just want to introduce you to this lady walking down the stairs of our boxing Ontario. If this happened, you're ready to just inducted into the women's boxing Hall of Fame. And here, in women's boxing, she's outstanding. And if you can keep those hands going, let's celebrate these ladies for giving you an outstanding fight of the night so far.
So Marissa Conteu, winner here in her first ever amateur fight.
Brief intermission, a 15-minute intermission. Grab something to eat, something to drink, and more outstanding. Sanctioned by Boxing Ontario. You can find the fights on MTC Windsor's YouTube channel. A big thank you to our sponsors, Cheriki Academy, WHG Cabinets, Team Warren Real Estate, Windsor Hot Tub and Sauna Store, Bikini Bottom Wax Bar, Conquer Construction, Penalty Box Windsor, Dominion Collision, and Colorworks. So a big thank you to everyone who helped make tonight happen. We're ready for the next fight of the evening. This will be 3 2-minute rounds. We're ready for our first fighter, making his way to the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. Put your hands together for Mobeen Jafarzadehpour.
Mobeen Jafarzadehpour, representing Cheriki Academy from Richmond, Ontario. This is the slowest entry we have seen from any, better yet, slowest walkout we have seen from any Cheriki Academy member this evening here at the Wincity Fight Night Unfinished Business on MTC Windsor's YouTube channel. This young man, 17 years old, weighed in at 135 pounds, and he's got 6 bouts under his belt.
Put your hands together for Jordan Beaker.
Jordan Beaker Fry from Windsor, Ontario, by way of Amherstburg, representing MTC Windsor. 18 years old, 125 pounds he weighed in this evening, and he's got 4 bouts under his belt already. We've seen him here on the Wincity Fight Night Series. Saw him kickbox not too long ago, but we know he's proficient in the ring when it comes to boxing. This is going to be an exciting matchup. 2 experienced boxers here at the amateur level. Jordan Fry in the red representing Windsor, and Mobeen in blue representing Richmond Hill.
2-minute rounds. To my left, fighting out of the blue corner, weighing 135 pounds, comes to us with 6 fights, 17 years old, representing Cheriki Academy and Richmond Hill, Ontario. Put your hands together once again for Mobeen Jafarzadehpour. And to my right, fighting out of the red corner, weighing 130 pounds, comes to us with 4 fights at 18 years old, representing MTC and Windsor, Ontario. Put your hands together once again for Jordan Beaker. And referee with fighting instructions.
Nice ovation for the hometown boy, Jordan Fry. 3 2-minute rounds. This is going to be an exciting one. I mean, I'm interested to see Kara Rowe will be joining me here in a second. Her intake on this one, we've seen Jordan Fry in the ring here at Wincity Fight Night Series before. We know his experience and starting off calm and collective, but speedy as well. Kara was just saying we've seen Jordan Fry here before. We know his experience. He's a pretty proficient boxer, and I'm sure this is going to be an exciting one.
Yeah, he does a really good job of using his range. He gives a little half step back when his opponent gets too close, and so it's really difficult to close the gap on someone that long.
And you can see the confidence in him too. I think that's a big aspect for him too.
Yeah, a lot of times you see confidence when people are so relaxed, right? You just see that body language. He'll go in for a little shot, a little feint, see if he can get a reaction out of blue, and then kind of snatch back. See, it's a little half step back when he gets too close.
Also mentioned and noticed in the walkout for Mobeen, the slowest and most calm walkout for a Cheriki Academy member yet. So a different approach than his teammates so far. Calm and collective here, looking to let their game plan come to fruition.
Yeah, Cheriki's known for coming out really fast, really strong, but this is tricky when you find someone in front of you where they're so tall and long and use their range so well. You've got to, I think when he goes back to the corner, you know, his team is going to say, hey, I need you to move your head side to side, blitz inside to get inside that long range.
Mobeen almost finds himself in his own corner there. This is something we've seen like throughout the night, Kara. I mean, obviously the first round's a little bit of a feeling out process at times. You know your opponent a little bit, but you never know what to expect once you
I get the sense from Mobeen,
big right hand.
Straight right down the pipe, that long. You can use your rangy shots hurt more than anything.
Here comes some intensity though. Nice jabs from Jayden too, as he's using that to keep some distance and get back into the middle. He takes a jab though.
I just get that sense from Mobeen that he's used to being the taller, longer fighter because of his style of fighting, and now he's matched with someone even longer, so he's going to have to switch that up after this first round.
Indeed, and it's a rare feat that you see someone with the length and the height of Jayden Fry too, right? Big right hand delivered. Mobeen still pressing forward though, taking some damage, but still coming forward. That's where you want to be, in that left hand utilized for Jayden Fry.
Yeah,
big right hand delivery.
Mobeen has to just keep following in his jab because he's got a really good jab, but he's got to follow it in because even if it doesn't land, he's got to be able to get inside that range of red.
Yeah, lead with it and follow up because again, like there's a lot of distance to
But that's
reach
what I'm
there.
saying. Stylistically, Blue is probably used to hitting that shot, like being the taller guy, the longer guy.
Right.
And he's used to popping back, but this is a different circumstance where he's going to have to follow his jab in instead of snatching himself back.
His best defense is going to have to be his offense in this one.
Yeah.
And that's our first round of 3. 2 minutes in the books. Jayden Fry in the red corner and Mobeen in the blue. This is Richmond Hill versus Windsor, Ontario. 2 young men here. A few bouts under their belts, each of them, and you're seeing that on display here. This is going to be a very exciting half of Wincity Fight Night. Unfinished business in Windsor, Ontario, as we make our way towards our main event. Jayden Trudell and Thomas Banfic. Nevertheless, this is our task at hand right now. We still got 2 2-minute rounds left in this one.
Yeah, so Mobeen coming out for the second round, I'm sure his corner is going to say, you got to press. You've got to get inside that range. You cannot use stylistically what you're used to using, where you kind of get in and out, make mistakes. This is a different fight, which is such cool experience for Blue to see someone like taller and longer, because it's not typical you'll see the ranginess of red.
Indeed, so we're expecting a much different second round here. We'll see how it unfolds. 2 young men touch gloves, and here we go. Right in the center of the ring.
And there you saw Blue. See, he's not pulling back anymore. He's following his shots in, and he's changed it up completely, and that's what needed to happen.
A little bit different we saw in the first, and the intensity rises pretty quick. Jayden Fry turned him over.
Jordan's using the push to try and create space because Blue's coming inside, and he changed up his strategy, and that's good. That's a big change up. You know, Blue's got to be able to follow that jab in, keep following his punches in to get inside and work. Right there, he did a good job of adapting there. Jordan's got to stick out his jab. Just keep sticking that out. It doesn't have to land. Just keep him out because you know he's just going to try and blitz in now at this point. There you go. A little check hook on his way back. Jayden caught. Did a great job with that.
Jayden able to do what he always does and use that distance. I mean, even with a lanky opponent like Mobeen, he's still able to utilize his reach as well.
Yeah, and the thing with Jayden, it's gonna see the clearer punches landing from the judges because of that ranginess, and that's why Blue has to take advantage of being the aggressor and getting inside and multiple punches, because that's what the judges have a tendency to reward, is kind of the aggression, who's initiating the fight. Fry's corner trying to get him to put some more combinations together, follow up that jab with something. But he knows now that Blue's not backing up, and that's what you have to do with the taller, longer fighter. You can't back up. You got to just keep coming forward.
Big right hand delivered by Jayden Fry, and followed up with some big shots, jabs coming into play from Mobeen. He's really taking the advice of his corner there after that break, after the first, and it's working out for him here.
Yeah, trying to get...
And
you can hear Jordan's corner also saying, hey, you got to put your punches together now. Like, that jab was landing and is doing well in the first round, but now Blue's changed it up, so you got to adapt too. Big first round, like second round, but I'm thinking Red might have first, Blue have second round. He changed his style completely. Now we're going to see if Red can adapt to that stylistic change from Blue.
It's a tight one. That was an intense second round, like you said, Karen. It's going to be a very interesting third and final round here at the Wincity Fight Night Unfinished Business. I'm Drake Demore, voice of the Wincity Fight Night, joined by Kara Rowe as always, and what an honor it is. I mean, even seeing Jayden Fry, like, as much as he's been putting in work in the shop, you could say, and in the ring, we've seen him grow in the last year or so through the Wincity Fight Nights, and it's impressive to see him up against a very tough opponent in Mobeen, who has a little bit more experience than him as well.
Well, this is a good opportunity for Jayden now. Keep that jab out there, and when we see Blue rush in, he's going to have to hit that right uppercut. He's going to have to Lennox Lewis him, like use that long jab, use that long jab. Your shorter opponent gets inside, you hit that right uppercut and make him pay and not want to come inside so easily.
And that's something you're just waiting for if you're a fighter. They touch gloves and we're in here for our third and final round. It's intense to start us off. The crowd is into this one. The hometown boy, Jordan Fry in the red and Mobeen in blue.
Jordan's doing a good job of changing his height a little bit too. Like he lowered his level and not be so open for some of those looping shots. And sometimes as a tall fighter, you have to do that. You have to sink down so you're able to play defense a little better off of looping shots.
And I'm sure he's very used to that. As we mentioned, like his reach and his length is prominent to say the least.
Yeah.
And still has the height advantage here.
There's that right uppercut. He's got to throw that a lot more. He was able to hook behind the Blue's head because he ducked his head and used that right uppercut at the perfect time.
And again, that length and reach could be an advantage for that technique.
Blue's got to be careful not to go straight back because he's landing some clean shots, but then he goes straight back, which is kind of into the lankiness of Fry.
Finds himself almost in the corner now against the ropes. Got to fight his way out. Here we are in the middle. An uppercut of his own didn't work out.
Right there. You don't want to go straight back because you end up in the range of red. He's got to keep pushing forward like he did in the second round. Yeah, and again, that's if you get too tall and someone loops a shot like that, your chin's wide open, so he's got to be careful. See that straight back? That's it right there.
Hand. And indeed, that second round was the best we saw from Blue, and just that little sequence we saw, he's going to have to continue to do that here in the next minute and a half. Again, finds himself against the ropes, O'Kara.
Like basically, if I'm Blue's corner, I'm saying do not back up. Not one step back, just keep coming forward, make him fight you.
Just over a minute to do exactly that.
Because when you face a boxer like that, you got to make it a fight, right? You got to push them back, keep looping that overhand right, because Jordan will have a tendency to go straight back and stand up tall, and that's the time he can take advantage of that.
So you say we brought two boxers
right there,
to a fight.
there it is. So Jordan's got to go back to his jab. His jab works and then put stuff behind it. I mean the tenacity too of Jordan looking to sit in the pocket and go to kind of get some respect and make a statement is pretty awesome.
That is all. The clock was a little off, but this one runs down to the end. What an exciting finish here in Windsor for Jordan Fry, the hometown boy. Mobeen putting on an incredible showing and show here for the folks at the Serbian Center. We're going to get the official call here in just a moment from Carol Rowe. That was an exciting one, and we still got a few exciting fights to go. 3 more after. So if you're tuned into MTC Windsor's YouTube channel, you don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to go anywhere.
All right, let's hear from both these fighters. Make some noise for next standing fight. After 3 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards and have a 2-1 split decision for your winner, fighting out of the blue corner,
Mobeen Jafara get a 4. The winner is Jordan Fry. Awards him that medal. What a showing here. What a fight here at the Wincity Fight Night. Unfinished business between these two. As mentioned, we've seen Jordan Fry in the ring before, and I'm sure we'll see him back. That might make him a little bit more eager to return to the ring, get back in the win column.
Construction, Penalty Box, Windsor, always supporting events. Dominion Collision, Colorworks as well. You can find us online at MTC Windsor, the YouTube channel, and see all of the fights that we are seeing tonight. These fights are sanctioned by Boxing Ontario. Our next fight will be 3 2-minute rounds. First up, making his way to the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. Put your hands together for Carter White!
Carter White at 18 years old from Championship City Boxing Club in St. Thomas, Ontario. This young man has 4 bouts under his belt, weighed in at 176 pounds this evening, and look at the height on this young man. This is going to be an exciting fight going up against someone we've seen here at the Wincity Fight Night Series before.
Put your hands together for
Gabriel Pfco making his return to the Wincity Fight Night Series, representing Windsor, Ontario at MTC Windsor. 21 years old, he's fired up. He weighed in at 180 pounds. He's already got 5 bouts under his belt, and this one's going to be intense. 2 big boys here in the ring.
To my left, fighting out of the blue corner, 176 pounds, comes to us with 4 fights at 18 years old. Representing Championship City Boxing Club in St. Thomas, Ontario. Put your hands together once again for Carter White. And to my right, fighting out of the red corner, weighing 182 pounds, comes to us with 5 fights at 21 years old. Representing MTC Windsor and Windsor, Ontario. Put your hands together once again for Gabriel Pfco. And the referee in charge with fighter instructions.
Not sure if they were listening. This is going to be intense. It's just my prediction, but it seems like this one might be a hot start here. And is it? Maybe not. Pfco in the red, Carter White in the blue. Big shots to start it off, though. I thought this one was going to start off hot and heavy. And both young men filling it out a little bit. Quick stoppage here. But 2 big boys, Kara. 2 young men, too, eager to get in the ring there.
Yeah, you're seeing red come in with a little bit more intensity. You know, I think blue is looking to set his shots up a little bit more, but the intensity of red has brought out the fight in blue. So
sometimes you got to match your opponent. And we've seen Gabriel Pfco here in the Wincity Fight Night Series before. It delivers a big right hand, and now he's got his opponent up against the ropes.
Yeah, he plants his feet really well when he throws his shots, so those shots are coming in heavy. And as heavy as they look, they feel heavy like
yeah,
that
for sure. Almost coming at us here at the Serbian Center. This is Wincity Fight Night. Unfinished business. On to our 7th Boxing Ontario sanctioned fight of the evening.
So red steals space. If you see, he keeps his feet far back, but he'll reach inside with his hands, and then he pulls back out quickly. So you don't really anticipate him throwing where he is, so he kind of steals space in between the 2 fighters.
Kind of teasing that, too, for Carter White. It looks like he has a moment to step in, but not really.
Carter switching back and forth, trying to get an idea of, how to handle Pfco coming at him and switching up a little bit. When he jabs, he's got to just keep his right hand forward, because that's he's just way too open when he comes in with that jab.
Indeed, and needless to say, this is our first of 3 rounds, 2 minutes each. Approaching the end of this one and really getting to know each other, these 2 young men.
And you're seeing a little bit of the switch up with blue, with Carter. He's now on his toes. He started out flat-footed. He's now on his toes, and you're kind of seeing Pfco trying to figure it out, because it's tough when you think you have your opponent measured, and then all of a sudden they changed the style up. He turned south, Carter turned southpaw, then all of a sudden he got on his toes and started bouncing. That's a completely different game that you gotta like adapt to very quickly because you don't have much time.
And 9 games are part of it all, and we're going to see it unfold here as this one goes forward. It might be going to be a very different second round, Kara.
Well,
following that, we have one more.
Yeah, the success of Pfco was because Carter came in there flat-footed, and Pfco was able to land those big shots completely anchored to the ground. As soon as Carter got on his toes, he was like, I can't anchor anymore. You know, it changes the game plan a little bit.
Yeah, and when you change it up mid-round, I mean, it could really throw you off. So I'm sure both right now strategizing with their coaches, maybe changing it up a little bit, and we'll see how it comes to fruition here in just a few moments.
Yeah, both with only like a few fights, but you know, showing some good ability to adapt in there.
Yeah, 4 fights for Carter White and 5 for Gabriel Pfco. So not novices, but they're ready to go.
Carter White in the blue, and we have Gabriel Pfco in the red. And I think blue is going to be smart to just keep that, get on his toes, because I feel like when Pfco gets set, it gets his feet anchored, he hits hard, and you just don't want him to have that opportunity. Make him work, step with his punches, and change everything up.
Indeed, you don't want to give your opponent any opportunities, really. You got to close out as much distance and gaps as you can, because that's the name of the game. They're trying to find exactly that. Little exchange here in the middle as Carter's trying to push Gabriel towards the ropes. Again, circling in wisely here.
Well, blue has to hit those shots and then pull back. Hit those shots and pull back. Just don't let red get set, because he's a puncher, so you don't want him to get anchored down.
Just knocking at the door to see who's home.
See how heavy, like he just leans into that space and gets big shots. But you keep moving, you're going to make him miss the whole time.
Indeed.
And then these pot shots blue's going to get off. That's going to help him win the fight.
Indeed, we saw it. Pfco looks like he's going for those big shots as well.
So when you slip, for people that aren't as familiar, you just can't fold in half completely. You always have to have a piece of your target. So if your head folds in half, you're going to get in trouble from the...
Mouth guard popped out on that one. And the official doesn't realize it. A little tie up there, so we got to get that mouthpiece back. That flew out right into our commentary booth here.
It's funny. This is why, like you're in professional fighting, you have to have 2 mouthpieces. Like you in the corner, like your corner man, or if I'm the corner person at the time, I have to have 2 mouthpieces for because if that gets knocked out and you can't find it, the fight is over. You know what I mean? You don't want to lose a fight in that way.
That's not a way you want to lose a fight. That's exactly it, Kara.
I fought on ESPN and I hit a girl with the right hand and she spun around and her mouthpiece landed on the commentator, and he just said, "Oh my God, the mouthpiece landed on me. We need to control this fight." But you have to have 2 for that reason.
That's when you need a camera on us. But if you're Carter White, I think you're going to be bringing 2 mouthpieces to every fight that you might be in now going forward after that one.
Yeah.
It's a learning experience, and here we find ourselves in the middle for a brief moment, tied up there in our last 20 seconds. This is our second round of 3.
And once again, Pfco getting those instructions, because he's trying to slip punches and get inside, but again, when you don't give a target, you have to bend at your knees and not your hips on those moves, or else you're not going to have a target for your opponent. Oh, good combination from blue. He's putting the 1, 2, 3 together, and then he pops back knowing that red has to get planted. So
switching his stance as well.
Yeah, we're looking at, it could be 1-1 again. I mean, we're stuck in this every time. We're stuck in this. The third round is going to seal the deal for one or the other.
I'm happy I'm not a judge. I'll just say that.
Because I really think first round, red landed the harder shots.
Indeed.
And then blue adapted really well. Like he's got on his toes and started moving, realizing I'm not going to stand there with this puncher. And then he came in with that second round. And so we'll see in this third round. He was able to put punches together really well, so we'll see. Red's got to be able to move his feet a little bit more, not drag the back foot, which makes me wonder if he's a bit of a kicker too, because a lot of kickers drag that back foot, right? Indeed. They have a tendency to do, so they can rip a high head kick.
All these fighters are disciplined in many disciplines of martial arts, better yet. Kickboxing, boxing.
Well, that's what Reno Belcastro from MTC does really well. He gets all of his guys okay, you're doing this grappling, you're doing this boxing, you're doing this, so
you
that when
anything.
So when you get into MMA, you got to be able to do it all. Here we go with the third round. Gabriel Pfco in the reds, Carter White in the blue.
Third and final round here at the Wincity Fight Night. Unfinished business. It's a toss-up, man.
The confidence you're seeing from blue now too, and I think Look at the punches he's putting together, his movement. Red's got to bring that back foot with him just to close the gap a little bit more. But again, you don't want to stand in front of Red because he can crack.
Well, this is going to be a rotating door, I guess you can say, as Carter White found himself up against the ropes, circled back, and here we are again.
And the great part about this, both of these guys kind of feel like, oh, it's the second time mouthpiece falls out of Blue. You know, I don't know in amateur boxing how many times until a point's taken away. You just got to be careful.
Right.
You can't afford to lose any points, you know, when you only have 3 2-minute rounds, right?
And this is Carter White's 5th amateur fight. It's not that it's inexperience. Could be fatigue. It could be fatigue.
No, I mean,
but
it's just a crappy mouthpiece, to be honest. Like half the time you can't even, when I was fighting, you couldn't even get my mouthpiece out in the rest because it was like, go to a dentist. It's your teeth.
Yes, invest in it. Invest in it.
Look at Red really trying to put it, you know, and I think both corners probably said, you need this round. And that was great advice from both corners. See the big shots, you cannot stand in front of Red. He just lands big shots. Blue's got to just go right back to that, what he was doing and having success with is getting on his toes. Everything is on the line here as they clinch. Again, the grappling coming into play there for Carter White. But just under a minute remains. And it's a tight one. Yeah, of course, both coaches said, put it all on the line on this one because we don't know who's going to go home the victor. The timing of Blue he's really on point now. But again, anytime he rests, Red's putting big shots on him. He can't rest in front of Red. Both of the body and the head there from Gabriel Pfco. Saw a big right hand to the body and following up with more. Yeah. Just Red, once he learns to bring that back foot with his backhand, I mean, he already can hit hard. He's going to have a lot more success. And he'll have more balance after he lands that shot or hits that shot. But Blue doing a good job of understanding. Oh, another mouthpiece. The tables have turned this way into the red corner now. And we're at the final. Guys, stop ordering your mouthpieces from Amazon. Yeah. Go get it your dentist. Canadian Tire, yeah. Oh, little short shots inside. These guys are working for it, both of them really wanting to put this round in the books for themselves. And there it is, it's in the books, and this whole fight is in the books. Kara Rowe is going to make her way back into the ring for the official announcement on this one. It's a toss-up. We don't know who's going to go home the victor, and luckily I'm not one of those judges. They're putting in their scores right now here at the Wincity Fight Night Unfinished Business on MTC Windsor's YouTube channel. Again, thank you for tuning in and subscribe for more in the future. You can watch all of our past events, our fights, our grappling events as well. As mentioned by Kara Rowe, Reno Balcastro, just well-rounded in the world of martial arts, is putting on as a promoter so many different types of events here for the folks in Windsor, Ontario, Michigan, and beyond. And here tonight, sanctioned by Boxing Ontario. We have 7 bouts now in the books and 2 more to go. We'll get the official call here, official announcement on the winner of this one in just a moment.
All right, let's hear from both these fighters. Make some noise out there, Windsor. And after 3 rounds, we go to the scorecards at a score of 3-0. Your winner, fighting out of the red corner,
Wow, a unanimous decision for the hometown boy. Gabriel Pfco goes home the victor here in his 6th amateur fight over Carter White. Well, that's nothing to be ashamed of as well. A great display from him. And Championship City Boxing Club in St. Thomas, Ontario. And we're on our way to our co-main event now here at Wincity Fight Night Unfinished Business. I'm Drake Demore. We'll send it back to Kara Rowe, who will be joining me back in the broadcast booth soon enough for our co-main event. This one has a lot riding on it for both young men. We've seen here before at the Wincity Fight Night Series.
champions, this is time for our co-main event of the evening for Wincity Fight Night. A big thank you to Chow Cafe, WHG Cabinets, Team Gorn Real Estate, Windsor Halftime Inside Store, Bikini Bottom Wax Bar, Conquer Construction, Penalty Box Windsor, Dominion Collision, and Colorworks. Again, you can find us online after the show, MTC Windsor YouTube channel. This is time for our co-main event, and it will be 3 2-minute rounds in the Elite Novice Division. And this is Windsor versus Windsor. First up, making his way to the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. Put your hands together for Bennett.
And here comes Bennett representing Blue Collar Boxing right here in Windsor, Ontario, as mentioned by Carol Rowe. This is Windsor versus Windsor, live from Windsor at the Wincity Fight Night. 175 pounds he weighed in today. This is his 4th bout, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first competitor from Blue Collar Boxing in Windsor at a Wincity Fight Night.
And his opponent making his way to the ring, fighting out of the red corner. Put your hands together for Gier, the Butcher Banfic.
This next fighter is no stranger to the Wincity Fight Night series. From Windsor, Ontario, representing MTC Windsor, he weighed in at 176 pounds tonight, and he's got 3 fights under his belt as well. A very even matchup here between these two. Garrett, the Butcher Gagne, making his way to the ring and returning to the Wincity Fight Night series. Had an impressive showing not too long ago in February here, the Wincity Martial Arts Extravaganza.
All right, fight fans, here we go with your co-main event of the evening. Again, this will be 3 2-minute rounds. To my left, fighting out of the blue corner, like 175 pounds, comes to us with 3 fights, representing Blue Collar Boxing and Windsor, Ontario. Put your hands together once again for Bennett. And to my right, fighting out of the red corner, weighing 176 pounds, comes to us with 2 fights, representing MTC and Windsor, Ontario. Put your hands together once again for Gier, the Butcher Banfic. Fighter instructions.
Watch the whole. Punch him up, guys.
Strict enforcement in our co-main event. This is 3 2-minute rounds. Bennett in the blue, Garrett Gagne in the red. 2 clubs from Windsor, Ontario, about to duel here. They touch, or do they touch gloves? No, they get started hot and heavy here. No, not so hot or heavy, but opting to not touch gloves. I don't know if I got that correctly, but nevertheless, as mentioned, this is Windsor versus Windsor. Bennett in the blue, Garrett Gagne in the red, and a bit of a methodical pace here, Garrett. I didn't think that this is what we would see.
Well, sometimes when you see Southpaw and Orthodox, it takes a second for them to even process that the person is like the opposite
Wait
stance.
a minute, yeah, this is a big throw-off, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it takes getting hit by their backhand, and you're like, oh, wait, I've got to switch directions.
Wake you up a little bit.
Yeah. Really wide stance with blue, so he's got to kind of close it, because it's hard to get distance when your legs are too far apart to start, so you have to take big lunges. So you have to make those little adjustments, but Red doing a good job just fighting the front hand so he can kind of range find for his backhand, just like that. You know, you hold out your front hand so you can range for your backhand, which is your power shot. Every time you're facing an opposite stance, if you finish with a hook, it will land. It's really hard to play defense on a hook when you're opposite stance for either fighter.
Definitely some reach and height advantage for the blue, but not really imposing on the red so far. Nice right uppercut there, almost delivered by Garrett Gagne, the Butcher.
So blue the only thing, he's just got to stop waiting. Like, he's looking to counter, maybe because he's a longer guy, he looks for someone to initiate, but he could you can pop your jab out there just to hold somebody back, and once they try to get through that space, then you can chop down on them with the backhand.
Absolutely, and it can do some damage and gain you some points here. In this one, our first round, last 20 seconds remaining. We got 3 2-minute rounds in this one.
Red kind of doing exactly what you need to on an opposite stance, where you lead with the backhand just like that and you finish with a hook, because the hook will always land or put the other person out of position. And you heard, I like that because I saw the desperation from Blue when he heard the 10-second bell. And that's what you want. You want to try and steal that round, right? And leave that in the mind of the judges.
That's exactly where it comes down to, Kara. In that last moments, the judges will look around and say, who takes this one? Especially as close as that was. This one, we didn't see a lot of intensity to begin with. They're feeling it out a little bit. We'll see if we get a different second round here.
I think Blue finished strong, but most of the round at the beginning was Red. Red doing a really good job of understanding how do you fight an opposite stance. You use your backhand, you hold your front hand out to kind of control the space, and finish with hooks. You always have to finish with hooks.
Indeed, and as crazy as it sounds, you might not have too many training partners that are orthodox, and that you don't see that stance as often when you're sparring and training and getting ready for such.
Well, this is the thing. When you're out of like MTC versus is an MMA gym typically, and Blue Collar's a boxing gym.
Indeed.
So MTC is going to see more switch stances, because when you have MMA guys, you'll see a lot more guys switch. They'll switch up their stance for when they're kickboxing. So you'll get a little bit more exposure to it in those type of gyms.
Here we go. Second round of 3.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice jabs, yes.
And Red doing a good job of moving to the left, right? He wants to stay away from Blue's power. He's got to move to the left and land his backhand. Blue doing a great job of using his jab this time. Keeping up that space. There. And this is the difference, is Blue's taking the lead. He started waiting to counter last time, and he's initiating a little bit more.
Indeed, Gagne kind of controlled the pace on that. Pretty much the first minute of that fight. Just kind of circling around and keeping Bennett exactly where he wanted.
And Blue's got to go back to that, just like being first, so that he can keep Red out, because Red's going to come in blazing with that backhand heavy.
And this is the chess game that we were anticipating this evening here at Wincity Fight Night. We didn't see it in every single fight. But right now, these two experienced, only 3 fights under each of their belts. Yeah, very clean and like very matched experience between these two. Very even
yeah, that's a good point. Oh, yeah. See, you're always going to have success with a hook. I don't care if you're Blue or Red right now. It's finishing with that hook. You will land it every time. It's really hard to play defense on a hook in this opposite stance.
Comes out of nowhere.
See.
Oh, and there's a big one.
Yeah, that's you never know. He was lucky he didn't get a standing 8 for that, because that's kind of what refs are looking for, that clean shot. But he responded really well.
Indeed, keeping himself in it is Bennett. That warrior mentality.
Blue's got to go back to that jab that he started the round with, because he was keeping Red at bay using that. Again, a jab doesn't have to land. Just keep the other person distracted. Make them work around it. It's harder when there's something sticking out in front that you have to get around to the head or body.
No one wants to walk into a jab as this one comes to an end here. 2 rounds in the books, 1 more to go. What are they got to do to get in the driver's seat, Carol?
Red has to go back to round 1 where he initiated with his head offline. So he came in with that big backhand and finished with hooks and had a lot of success, whereas Blue was waiting. This second round, Blue came in and initiated and had success in the first half of the round, but then stopped jabbing. He kind of lost that jab. You can't get into a cerebral moment where you're thinking when you have someone that's very aggressive, right? You have to kind of get that jab out there and start breaking that all up.
This will be interesting to see if both men come out with the same game plan. Obviously, both want the same decision, and that's to walk out as the victor of this one. But only one can be the winner. This is our co-main event at Wincity Fight Night, Unfinished Business on MTC Windsor's YouTube channel. Boy, what a night it's been.
I think we might be looking at 2 rounds for Red, but not to take anything away from that second round with Blue. Like, he landed some really clean shots. I just don't know if he was busy enough.
Right.
But, he did some really good work in there. He's just got to come back to doing what he did at the beginning of that second round. Just like that. Keep Red trying to figure out, okay, how do I get around that?
It's a much different aspect than our 8th Boxing Ontario sanctioned fight of the evening. And look at Gagne looking to open up a little bit.
Yeah, and again, he understands that you've got to throw a hook on a southpaw. That's going to land every time. And he was doing a better job of pulling his head offline with his twos, with his backhands, and that's where he's got to go back to. Dip his head to the left and hit the backhands. Did it, and I could hear his coach even talking about it too. So kind of knows what to do. He's just got to execute it now.
Indeed. Definitely a little unorthodox for lack of better terms, but there they are. Still filling it out, these two with seemingly so much experience under their belts and only 4 fights each.
Red closes the gap when blue doesn't jab. That's the problem, right? You can't just shell up because red's going to those heavy shots. You're going to just see those heavy shots. I thought he was looking for the ref to give him an head count.
It seemed like it was.
But that's what I mean. What happened was blue stopped jabbing again and just shelled up, and red just blasted. He's powerful. He just blasted through his guard.
And he makes it through, but Bennett, he's bleeding from the nose there. Timeout is called, and
he's going to get
the referee. He's got to get looked at.
But actually, you know what's interesting about this is the doctor was warned beforehand that earlier today during the weigh-ins, the blue has a tendency to get a bloody nose.
He's got nosebleeds. Might be nerves. Might be some condition we don't know about.
So this is the thing. When you have a nose that sticks out further, like mine would, someone else's would, you have to play with your nose off, out of the gym and get it softer.
Sure, it happens a lot in the gym. We're seeing it here at Wincity Fight Night.
I think the best thing was the doctor knew in advance to expect that, so don't stop the fight.
Absolutely.
And she was told, don't stop the fight.
Headgear's off with only 30 seconds left.
We've had some headgear malfunctions tonight. Sting's a really great headgear, too. That's like USA Boxing and Boxing Canada approved.
Some of the best here at Wincity Fight Night, but it happens.
Yeah,
it happens.
Sure.
I mean, things
He's worn out Velcro.
Yeah.
And again, this is big. Blue has to get back on his jab because when he does that, it makes it very difficult. Red can get in, but he's got to work a lot harder to get in. If he just shells up, Red's going to blast that backhand down the pipe. Just there, exactly. He's going to have success every time if he's not being told to stay out. See, that was great on blue. Keep that range, but you got to pull everything back fast.
And 10 seconds remain. This is it. You got to put everything out on the line if you want to win this one, no matter who you are.
But the great thing is, to be honest,
big left hand.
Big shot. When Red stays down the pipe, he gets hit, but he angles off. He does really well, so he's got to keep just listening to his corner and get that angle. Great fight.
Great fight, and what a way to end it off. If you're either competitor, nothing to be ashamed of here, and we're going to get the official decision on this one soon enough in our co-main event at Wincity Fight Night, Unfinished Business. Bennett in the blue, representing Blue Collar Boxing in Windsor, Ontario, and Garrett the Butcher Gagne in the red, representing MTC Windsor. Two local boys put it all on the line. They shake hands, they embrace after that one. Blue Collar Boxing, a fairly new club in Windsor. And taking this fight kind of last minute to fill in is Desmond Bennett. And he really showcased his ability here. And the Blue Collar Boxing's debut at a Wincity Fight Night.
All right, let's hear from both these fighters in your co-main event of the evening. After the 3 rounds of boxing with one of the scorecards, a score of 3-0 unanimous decision. Your winner, fighting out of the red corner,
a unanimous decision for the Butcher, Garrett Gagne of MTC Windsor. What an exciting co-main event as Des Bennett gets the ropes for his opponents. What a show of respect and what a fight here at Wincity Fight Night. We got one more in store for you, folks. Our main event is here. The hometown boy, Jayden Trudell, his first fight in Windsor. The Juice goes up against Bam Bam, Keegan Banfic, in our main event.
before we start our main event of the evening, I would like to call up former Canadian national champion, multiple Euro champion. He is now a professional representing Windsor in Canada across the globe, signed with none other than Jake Paul's MVP, training with Chrome as well. He's 1-0 as a professional. Please welcome up Hunter Lee!
The hometown boy is in attendance. Our newest pro boxer from Windsor, Ontario. He's making his way to the ring right now. We had the honor of calling his last amateur fight here at the Wincity Fight Night Series not too long ago. He's 1-0 in pro. He might have some more exciting news coming up.
We had the privilege of getting an opportunity to see your last amateur fight. We know you were supposed to fight Jayden Trudell. How disappointing was that when you found out he tore his bicep recently, right before your fight?
I mean, it was super disappointing because such a big build-up. Everyone really wanted to see it. We trained so hard, we put in a lot of effort to promote the fight, and we had the press conference, everything, and that's what we want to do. It's the best versus the best, and I'm glad to see he's recovered, done well, the Bronze Cup.
Now, what people have to understand is you didn't get an opportunity to fight Jayden, but you fought the #1 guy in the United States of America in your weight class. You came up with the victory. What did that do for your confidence moving into the pro game?
I mean, we never tried to take an easy fight, so that was impressive.
Jake Paul, and everyone obviously had an opportunity to see Jake fight Mike Tyson, so everyone's pretty familiar with him. What's that like to be a part of that camp?
I mean, it's just an unreal experience. I mean, all professionals and guys. I've never seen where all the best of the best.
You're so humble, you're so quiet, and you're not the loudest people in the crowd. But you are 1-0, had an opportunity to see you fight in Michigan on Salida's card. What's next for you?
So next Friday, we'll be having a pro fight in Dearborn, Michigan. We're going to go 2-0.
So where in Dearborn will this show you?
It's going to be at Hype Athletics. If you guys are interested in tickets, tickets here. We can also go to prom.com.
That's amazing. Now, how important are these shows? Look at all these people. I'm just amazed at how many people came out tonight to support these local fighters in the States, fighters across Ontario. How important is their support in these shows that MTC is putting on for these Wincity Fight Nights?
It's everything. This is the building blocks. This is where you start. I've got on the shows. Everybody comes to professional. Everyone starts here, so that's why I always make sure all the business is good. And just compromise on professional. All of these shows on Windsor, average shows, Fight Island, all over the place. We fought here. This is where it starts, and this is where you build up.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here.
And let's make some noise for the main event. Let's get this place going. It's been way too quiet here.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure and always professional is Hunter Lee. What an honor it is to have him here in attendance.
Before the main event starts, I want to thank everybody for being here. But earlier to the honor of mentioning me, I want to do the honor of mentioning Kara, also getting inducted into the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame.
Most importantly, I was with Mary Spencer on Thursday where we won the WBA world title. So that was fantastic.
Another one of Windsor's own.
It is time for your main event of the evening. Chow Cafe, WHG Cabinets, Team Gorin Real Estate, Bikini Bottom Wax Bar, Palmer Construction, Windsor Hot Tub and Sauna Store, Box Windsor, Dominion Construction and Colorworks. This would not be possible without you. First up, making his way to the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. Put your hands together for Keegan Banfic.
Keegan Banfic makes his way to the ring representing Championship City Boxing Club in St. Thomas, Ontario for our main event. He's 19 years old, weighed in at 153 pounds, over 20 bouts under his belt, and a very decorated fighter.
His opponent making his way to the ring, fighting out of the red corner. Put your hands together to then none other than Jayden Trudell.
Speaking of decorated fighters, this might be one of the most decorated fighters from Windsor, Ontario, representing Doghouse Boxing Club, Jayden "The Juice" Trudell, making his way to the ring for his first ever fight in his hometown here in Windsor, Ontario. He's coming off injury, as we heard from Hunter Lee. He was forced to drop out of the Wincity Fight Night against that very man last summer. And since then, he's been on a path back to championship ways. He's a past multiple-time national champion, provincial champion, and Canada Cup champion.
Now I ask you to please remain standing for the real main event of the evening. Our beautiful anthem singer. Put your hands together for Sophia Georgia.
What a national anthem, what a way to get started. And Jayden Trudell is fired up here in Windsor. Three-minute rounds for our main event. And boy, what a way to get started here.
All right, fans, here we go. This will be three-minute rounds in your main event of the evening. To my left, fighting out of the blue corner, weighing 153 pounds. Comes to us as a former provincial champion, national finalist, and Brinton Cup semi-finalist this year. 24 fights, 19 years old, representing Championship City Boxing Club in St. Thomas, Ontario. Put your hands together once again for Keegan Banfic. And to my right, fighting out of the red corner, past multiple-time national champion, the Canadian Cup champion, and most recently the Calgary Cup champion, fighting out of Windsor and Doghouse, representing all of us here in Windsor. Put your hands together for Jayden. And your referee instructions.
As to be expected, a hometown ovation for the Juice, Jayden Trudell, and Keegan Banfic does not look phased at all. Two of the most decorated fighters in Ontario. A first-time matchup, too, and the crowd is silenced now as this one is underway. You can cut the intensity with a knife here, Kara. And here we go, starting to open up. It's Keegan Banfic a little bit. As mentioned, two of the most decorated fighters in Ontario at the amateur level have never met in the ring yet.
You know, and for Banfic, this is like a great way to mentally go into a fight where it's like, it's a win-win. You went up against the multiple time, one of the best. And that's what you have to admire about people that do that. They just like, hey, I want to test myself. You know, I fight well, I pull out a win. I mean, that's huge for your confidence and everything moving forward.
No doubt about it. We can say that Jayden might have a little bit of an advantage, but to give Keegan Banfic no credit would be a shame. I mean, obviously for him to step into this, he doesn't look phased at all. He looks confident as can be.
Yeah,
big jab there.
Timed that perfectly, splitting the hands of Jayden. Jayden coming off that Calgary Cup win, which is huge too, and I know he walked away with a lot of confidence from that fight.
Indeed, another big jab for him, and I mean, regaining a bit of that confidence too, Kara. I mean, coming off of that injury, not being in the ring for some time. I mean, he had bicep surgery, so.
I'm surprised, I was going to say, I'm surprised the refs letting that go for so long, that tie-up.
Yeah.
Kind of like they just both, it wasn't even, they were just like willing themselves forward.
These two, I don't know how experienced they are in grappling, but we know they're very proficient with the boxing gloves on, and that's where they're going to keep it.
Well, I think Jayden's like walking forward, heel walking forward, was just like, you know, anchoring to the ground, trying to punch heavy. And I think what Blue started out with was more of like the speed and the footwork. So, but I think this is how Jayden eventually catches on to his guys, right? That heavy to the ground, anchor in, big shots where they just don't respond well after getting hit hard, right? You see people's body language change.
Big shots delivered by both, but maybe more so for Jayden Trudell, who for a lot of folks in attendance maybe have never seen him fight, Kara. This is his first fight in Windsor. And Keegan Banfic wants to walk out the winner. He wants to put a stop to this party here.
Well, you're just seeing Jayden come in with big shots, and that's how, like, in the first round, if you establish that, you kind of set the tone, and you make someone else hesitate, not kind of fight their game.
Big exchange, clubbing shots to the head as Jayden Trudell has Banfic cornered.
Yeah, and Banfic's got to go back to boxing, because if someone's just walking you down flat-footed, you got a pot shot. You got to go in, get your shot, and go. Like, make them find you, right? Not just, don't stand in there and bang.
This should be a boxer's boxing fight.
Yeah, whereas
Bouch,
Jayden,
I guess you could say.
I don't even think Jayden's really taken a step back, right? He's just come forward and kind of exert his dominance in this first round.
Stick to the game plan and carry it out here as this first round of 3 comes to an end. We still got 2 at 3 minutes each.
Gosh, you kept feeling that the 2 minutes was going by fast, and this 3, that flew by.
Indeed. Especially for the caliber of boxers that we have in front of us. It's to be expected.
You know, and you're getting that sense and that energy from Trudell that he's saying, you don't belong in here with me. Just that walking forward, that heel walking, flat-footed is just basically, that's when you tell somebody you don't belong, and I'm just going to, anything you do, like, you could read the energy, right? And I'm sure in Blue's corner, in Keegan's corner, it's going to be a little bit about, you got to box, you got to go in and out. You don't want to sit and stand in the pocket with them and bang, because Jayden will sometimes eat a shot just to give a heavy shot back.
Yeah, and we saw that in the first round, and maybe underestimated was Keegan Banfic in Jayden Trudell's camp. I mean, playing with him like that, we could see in that first round what Keegan Banfic from St. Thomas, Ontario, is capable of, and he needs to stick to that game plan too.
Yeah, he's going to have to box and make Jayden use his feet to work, for it a little bit more, because he's given him too much just standing there. And Blue's got to feint. He's got to try to draw out some of those punches of Jayden before Jayden closes the gap on him. Because you see how Jayden does not want to take a step back, right? And he's just smothering Blue.
Indeed. And for all the aspects of this fight that we're talking about, we're really going to see how it plays out in the second round. This is going to be a huge round.
Yeah, and Jayden's just stalking him, right? And just letting him know, I'm just going to sit here and bang with you. There's nothing you're going to do that I haven't seen inside in the pocket.
That's what we saw in the first round. he asserted his dominance in there, controlled the pace, and he's looking to do exactly that. A little timeout here, though.
Let's get his
Keegan,
corner and
yeah.
fix his hair. When you have long hair, you have to tie it back in headgear. Regardless, male, female, you have to take care of that.
It's not an advantage to do the opposite, so.
Yeah. Unless you need a break. Like, leave my hair down. I'm going to take a breather.
Indeed. I think it might be a little early for that, hopefully.
I don't know, because Blue's having to back up and he's having to get on his toes, whereas Jayden's the one that's been able to relax his legs and just be kind of methodically walking forward.
And again, only less than 4 minutes into this fight. Doesn't seem like a lot, but that can do a lot of damage to the lungs. You could be tired pretty quick. We're ready to get things going here.
And here we are again. Jayden does not back up, like, and that's, you know, why you're seeing he's winning all these tournaments. It's like, oh, his shoulder bump.
little aggressive.
Well, it's almost like the veteran in him, right, coming out there.
Indeed. And you can see that on his face. You can see the confidence in his face. But though he took a big shot there with the left hand from Banfic.
And he'll sit in the pocket and bang. And this is where Blue is not wise to stay in there and bang. I think he just feels like he's running out of real estate when he's backing up because he gets right to the ropes.
And like you said, this should be a win-win situation for Keegan Banfic. So he needs to come out of this with as much as he can, intangibly.
And this, he's going to have to start jabbing and circling and going in and out, getting out of that space very quickly. I would, like, sitting in the pocket with Jayden hasn't been helpful for him.
It's a big experience for him. Keegan Banfic at 19 years old, cornered there as a 20-year-old tries to open up on him.
And sometimes, you know, people feel more comfortable inside, you know, than standing on the outside where those long shots can tag you.
And that tagged him. It looked like he took some damage. It's Keegan Banfic.
Because everything Jayden's throwing, he's throwing with dynamite. I don't know if he bet on himself to get him out of here in the second round, but that's what it looks like.
He's trying to get out in the fight. Well, still got a minute to go here. There's lots of time for him to work on his opponent. Big shots to the head, clubbing blows delivered. The referee tells the corner, watch your language. This is a family event.
Andre, a professional himself back in the day. Big right uppercut on Blue. I don't know, Blue's got a box. He
looks hurt.
Yeah. And, I mean, Jayden set this tone in the very first round where he's like, I'm just going to sit, walk you down. And, I mean, if you don't, the mental of boxing, if you don't respect your opponent, you just walk down, take their shots, and fire back. And that's what Jayden has done.
We said this round was going to be big, and here it is, the final 30 seconds. Oh, my, these shots to the head are just too much to handle if you're in the blue corner.
And it looks like he's going to make it out of this second round.
The toughness on Keegan Banfic on display here. Wow. What a second round here in Windsor, Ontario. Wincity Fight Night, unfinished business. Almost comes to an end here for Jayden Trudell. He's the one who has unfinished business, and he's got 3 more minutes to settle it all. So it looks like Jayden Trudell's in the driver's seat here, Kara. If he continues his game plan and does exactly what we saw in the first and second.
I just don't know if Keegan, right at this point, if he has the legs to box. And that's what we saw. We kind of saw him trying to stand toe-to-toe, and Jayden has the advantage toe-to-toe. He's just the harder hitter. He's anchored to the ground. He knows how to turn his body and hit those angles. So you're not going to win that inside game, because even when he hit Trudell, he didn't respond, in terms of, like, feeling hurt. He just answered back. So if he has the legs to box, that's what Blue needs to do. He's got to get out there, hit and don't be hit. Go in there, fire the shot, and get out.
Otherwise, it may be detrimental for the blue corner, as we saw in the far right corner there towards the end of that second round. Referee's asking for time already.
I think it's the hair. I think he's going to go back and say, this is unacceptable.
Well, this is one that we do not want to stop for any reason. We do not have to. We want a clean win here.
To be honest, I think the advantage is even more to Trudell to, like, get another win. He's going to start this round like he started the first round, that he's full energy because he hasn't had to use his legs. He's done a really good job of anchoring in and just walking his opponent down. It's much easier, trust me, to walk your opponent down than it is to get on your toes and box. That's very draining. And he's had an opportunity to conserve his energy, which is a great thing to know how to do, because if you can get out there and you can box and use your jab and set it up, and then you get tired at all and you anchor down, I mean, that's a huge advantage of knowing that already, like in his amateur career, and being able to translate that to pro when he pulls the trigger on that.
Being able to channel that and just use your breath properly is so huge in any sport, but here in boxing too. Again, the adrenaline setting in for both men. Big right hands.
And a big left. I'm surprised that wasn't an 8 count right there. That was a big hook, but Blue answered back really well. Like he didn't show any signs of slowing off of that.
Again, the toughness on display from Bam Bam.
Yeah, he's really done a good job, and he can say he's been in there, you know, and faced the toughest in the country.
Best. Yep.
And look at Jayden is not. He probably told himself, I'm not going to back up one time.
He's unfazed right now. Those shots are delivering hard and heavy and loud.
This is what I anticipate this fight probably getting stopped in this round.
Still so much time remaining here, too.
I know. I mean, Blue's fighting back really well, but when you take so many clean shots in amateurs, sometimes they will look to end it. So you just never know how they'll determine that.
A lot riding on this one, our main event. Wincity Fight Night, unfinished business.
And everything that Jayden is throwing is full power. You see him twisting his body.
With a statement.
Everything is full body power. There's no like setup. There's no change in tempo. It's just heavy, heavy, heavy.
Indeed, he's getting it all out of his system here. And this one's being stopped.
Okay.
By the judges. They've had enough. Wow, what a display from Jayden Trudell in his first fight ever in Windsor. Stopped in the 3rd round, a TKO win for the Juice, Jayden Trudell. Wow, what a main event at Wincity Fight Night. Unfinished business. There is no more business unfinished for Jayden Trudell. And if you're Keegan Banfic, as we talked about that entire fight, nothing to be ashamed of. He went in against a more experienced, a tougher fighter, and he did not back down. And that made him that much tougher, as here he's ready to embrace with his opponent. The respect on display again here at Wincity Fight Night. Jayden Trudell, one of the best amateur boxers we've seen, along with Hunter Lee, in some time here in Windsor. What an honor it is to have him here at the Wincity Fight Night. A long time coming, almost a year in the making. We've been waiting for this man in the ring.
Keegan Banfic coming here to face all of you and Jayden Trudell. Tough swallow. Your winner with 1 minute and 14 seconds in the 3rd round. Rest stops the contest. Put your hands together for your very own Jayden Trudell.
He can add some more hardware to his trophy case, and he could say he did it here at home. Keegan Banfic hands him the trophy, and we'll get a few words from Jayden Trudell right now.
We appreciate you being here tonight. Tons of people here supporting you. This crowd was live. We were hoping to see you back here the last hour at Wincity. You had an injury. How do you feel? You look fantastic. How did you feel bouncing back from that injury?
It was a rough 7 months off, but it was good to be back, especially here.
Congratulations. All right, much success. Jayden Trudell.
It's that easy.
Our sponsors for tonight, we appreciate you being a part of Wincity Fight Night. You can find it online. Go to Wincity YouTube channel, MTC YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Thank you, Reno Belcastro, for always putting on an outstanding show. And thank you, Excellence Area. Yes, Reno, you are a star. Thank you. This would not be possible without you.
It's that easy for the hometown boy getting his first win at home. Wow, what a show here at the Wincity Fight Night. Unfinished business, as Carol Rose said, and she put it well. We'll wrap it up together here and just say what an evening it's been. You said it yourself in the ring, Carol. Shout out to everyone involved, MTC Windsor, Reno Balcastro for putting it on, and all the accolades go to Jayden Trudell. What a showing in that main event.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting getting a chance to, I mean, you just saw, it's the confidence and the energy, like, and that's everything in the fight game. If you go in with confidence like that and energy, where you look at someone and almost say, you don't belong here with me, and when you take some shots and fire back and you don't take one step backwards, you can break your opponent mentally and spiritually. They just like crumble, right? And his opponent did a great job of like continuing to fight and wanting to fight. Even when the fight was stopped, he was upset about it because he wanted to go the distance with Jayden.
So close too.
But I mean, he had that opportunity. I think he's going to be able to take so much away from that fight and really grow from that. And that's how you grow. You face the best.
Indeed. And Jayden Trudell, I mean, his game plan from start to finish, it worked out. We saw it from the very beginning. You saw that confidence on his face. And one thing's for sure, this kid has a huge, bright future, and I can't wait to see what's in store for him.
But also, what was interesting after seeing that fight, it really made me want to see the Hunter Trudell fight.
Yeah.
Because Hunter would he might switch up. He might have been able to box. He had the experience. So it makes you crave more from Trudell. You know what I mean? Because you're just like, man, I want to see him again. That's what makes a great athlete, is when you want to see them now with more opposition, with different types of fighters, because you want to see what they're capable of, because he was so exciting.
Indeed. I've said there's no unfinished business for Jayden Trudell anymore, but there indeed is. You might see them face up in a pro boxing match one day, and you could say it all started here at Wincity Fight Night. The future of combat sports starts here. For Carol Rowe, Reno Balcastro, and the entire Wincity Fight Night crew, I'm Drake Demore, and thank you for tuning in to MTC Windsor's YouTube channel for this amazing event.
Good night.